Hey guys, how's it going? Let me set this up real quick and then we can get started. So today is March 31st. Wow. This month's basically over at this point, guys. Kind of glad. I like brand new months. It usually is a lot better the first week of each month. I feel like this month kind of lingered on a little farther than I thought. Generally, we only have like 4 trading weeks in a month, and this one was actually 5. So I feel like this month has been a lot longer than the others. Let me just finish setting up this room, and then we should be good to go. US 30 is shooting up right now. All right, the room's setting up right now. Should just be a few more seconds, and then I should be able to grab this link for you guys. All right, 1 second. Finish this up right here. And then I think we should be good to go, guys. Let me check US 30 real quick. Possible scalp right here, but I'm not going to take it because of the next candle is going to be the opening candle. So if you guys want to take this, you guys can. This is an at your risk trade. Just keep in mind that you're going to see some crazy volatility on the next candle since it could open. Which I have a link for you guys, and then we should be good to go. We got about 1:40 left on this candle. So we'll wait for this candle to close. Once it closes, we can determine whether it's a good trade or not. One second, guys. This is an issue with the YouTube. Let's see if I can get this on. Oh yeah, it looks like it's good. So this candle is about to close in about a minute. So once it's closed, you guys can take it if you want, but I'm not going to take it because this is going to be the opening candle, obviously. So I'll give it a minute for this candle to close. Once it closes, as long as this wick rejects off this pivot and structure, then it's going to be a buy entry. So I'm not going to take it, but if you guys want to, you guys can. All right, the room's all good to go. So let me send this link out to you guys here in the groups, and then get started. Session. Post this up there. And over here. I'm just going to pin this for you guys so that you guys can see it. So this candle is about to close right here. If you guys want to take it, this is the entry right here. So it's going to push up, just like I said, the first candle is going to push it pretty heavy. So if you guys did take it, it looks like it's about to hit TP already. There you go. That was pretty quick. Yeah, I didn't take that trade, but if you guys did take it, we were already watching it for it to play out. There you go. So there goes your win for that one. If you guys, that was pretty quick, guys. I didn't take it, but if you guys took it, if you guys were risky enough to take that trade, this could easily went this way or the other way. That's why I didn't take the trade. But it just hit TP if you guys decided to take that trade. Here, I'll just post an update in the group for you guys real quick so that you guys can see it. Damn, look at that. That thing's crazy. Look how far it's pushing up. All right, I'm gonna pin this real quick over here. Nice, Billy caught it. So nice work, Billy. I wanted to take it with you guys, but I knew it was gonna shoot up. It was either gonna shoot up or shoot down, and I wasn't ready to take that risk, especially right now. Damn, look how big that thing. How many pips is that? Let me check this real quick. Geez, that one candle is like almost over 1,000 pips. Huge move right there. So I'm just going to give you guys an update in the group real quick so that you guys can see, or that so whoever took that trade can see that this just hit TP. Right. So let me just show this for you guys over here. Neptune said, can you send the Zoom? Yeah, I'll send it right now, bro. 1 second. But yeah, that's crazy. Look how big that push was. See, I knew it was going to push up or it was going to push down. So if you guys are following the session from the beginning, you would have seen that that was a super risky trade. But whoever took it, literally after you entered, it like shot straight up to TP. So here you go, you guys. Morning, everybody. Let's see who's here. Morning, Rick. Morning, Spencer. Morning, Peter. Morning, Elijah. Morning, Biko. Morning, Billy. Morning, Kushi. Morning, Kendra. Morning, Jeff. Morning, Neptune. Morning, Patricia. Morning, David. Morning, RD. Yeah, guys, it's crazy. Look at that big move right there. So if you guys were following this right when I went live this morning, I mentioned that there was going to be an entry here. So I'll put the requirements here again for you guys that are new here. So this is going to be the K2 Snipe Strategy, US 30, 10-minute time frame. First, you just want to confirm wick rejection off K2 pivot. 2, confirm wick rejection off K2 SR zone. 3, confirm wick rejection off K2 pivot does not touch candle body. And dang, it's still pushing up, guys. And lastly, enter on the open of the following candle. 5, fixed TP stop loss of 500 pips. So damn, this thing pushed up like crazy, guys. But yeah, for you guys who are brand new here, this is why I called that trade, because this previous candle right here, this green candle with the long wick, it rejected off this pivot right here. It also rejected off this K2 SR zone. And lastly, we just made sure that this this pivot didn't touch the body of the candle, which it didn't. So this would provide for a valid buy entry here using the K2 Snipe strategy. So for whoever caught it, I mean, that's a huge move right there. Let's see. Jeez. So Ed took it. Congrats, Ed. So Ed made 7,224. Oh my gosh, that's crazy, dude. Nice work off that, Ed. Spencer too. So Spencer caught that buy right there. He made a couple, like he made a 26, 27. Overall, $2,284 this morning. So nice work, Spencer. So as you guys can see here, some people took that trade. I didn't take it myself, but you know, a good amount of you guys did take it. So it looks pretty solid for the most part. Let me go ahead and send you guys a Zoom link for you guys who are here in the premium so that you guys can have access to the stream real time and in 1080p resolution. So let me just send that link out to you guys here in the premium real quick. And then you guys will be good to go. So let's see. Nice. Billy just caught that too. Let me check your profit real quick, Billy. All right. So Billy right here. Harmony's always like, Zoom link is always coming late. I mean, it's been coming the same time every single day. So I don't think it's been coming late. It's just coming at the same time it's been coming. So, I mean, if you guys want to learn the strategy, just learn it yourself. Don't be lazy. You know, you can't expect everything to be spoon fed to you if that becomes the case, because scalping is pretty quick, right? So it doesn't matter if you enter this room 10 minutes ago, 7 minutes ago, right when I called the trade, you still would have missed the trade in Harmony. So if, you know, my main thing to you guys, if you guys want advice for catching the trades, because that's the only way that you'll learn this real time, right? You can't just copy signals. Being a professional signal copier is only going to get you so far. So, you know, just take that with a grain of salt. And if you guys want to learn it, you guys can learn it. But if you guys are just copying signals or copying my trades, you're never going to be on like exactly on point with the trades, because you still got to wait for me to call them. So if you want to learn the strategy, learn the strategy. If not, then I mean, you guys got to get what you take, right? It's like that one saying says, like, beggars can't be choosers. Like, if you don't want to do the work yourself, you just got to get what's given to you. So other than that, guys, great profits. let's see. Billy over here made 1,105 for this day. So he made about and you did pretty good, Billy. So nice work off that right there. He's almost at his FTMO challenge. He's almost done. He's at 4,000. He's about to be there in the next 6,000 points or pips or dollars actually, yeah, to pass. So other than that, let me see if there's anything else here real quick before we continue. Yeah, I think that's it. So this morning, like a lot of you guys made some pretty good profit this morning. I just looked at your profits. Billy made 1,105. Spencer made 2,084. Ed made 7,224. And sorry, my C's. Let's see. Monster FX made pretty good too. Monster FX made a couple euros here. It was just like 50 euros maybe. Josh made 286. Let's see. Braden made 14,000 for the week so far. CT made 3,135. So everyone's been doing pretty good so far this whole week. That's pretty much all the profits this morning. Let me just check the chat real quick. All right, so I think we're good with that right now. Let's see, Clint just messaged me. But yeah, now at this point, guys, if you guys didn't take that trade, we're just waiting for the next one. We're just waiting for the next entry to play out because we gotta wait for it to retrace back down anyways. But geez, there's so many entries here, even off the 3 minute right here too. If you're using CT strategy, right down there. Nice. Marjit said I made 20 euros on US 30. Nice, bro. So you just caught that that trade with us right now, I'm assuming. Let's see who else is here. All right. Morning, David. Morning, Alkin. Morning, Sam. Morning, Matt. Morning, Spencer. Morning, Ed. Morning, Hugo. Morning, Kevin. Morning, Marjit. And morning, Billy. So it looks like everyone's making their way in the room right now. Let me see what else we got over here as we continue. Let's see. Hugo said bullish today. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see what happens after this candle closes. Because basically after the opening candle, this is the opening candle right here. After this, one of two things can happen. Price can continue pushing up, or it'll come back down to where it originally was before it spiked up like that. So it's either going to continue pushing up or it's going to come back down. So we're going to wait, see how price moves, and then we'll decide from there. But we won't know yet until it pushes over. The sentiment right now is only 65% or 67 now. So it looks like people are trying to short it. So whoever shorted US 30 right here got burnt because it was 65 about 30 minutes ago. So whoever shorted this after ended up ended up getting burnt because it shot all the way up. So we'll see how it moves right now after these this following candle. If it's bullish, it's going to keep pushing up possibly for the next couple hours or so. So we'll see what's going on over here. Let me see if there's anything else that I'm missing here. Billy said, but yeah, it's the end of the month, so I don't want to risk anything else. Just took 2 wins today. Nice, Billy. Yeah, play it safe, bro. Like for FTMO, your main goal is just to pass. You don't have to do anything crazy. It's more so just passing. And then once you pass, you can do whatever you want. But right now, your main focus should just be to pass. So yeah, play it safe, bro. You don't need to make huge profits just yet, because I mean you don't get to keep any of the profits right now, anyways. So let me just get this link out real quick to everyone else here on the social media. But yeah, guys, just a reminder to what I was saying earlier before. If you guys want to catch these trades as they happen, you guys have to learn the strategy. You guys can't just keep copying my trades here on the Zoom or even on the YouTube, because YouTube is delayed. So if you guys aren't in the premium, you guys aren't getting the calls right away. You probably get them a few seconds after everyone else in the premium. So if you guys want the trade, if you guys want to take the trades real time, my advice to you is just to not be lazy and learn the strategy, because being lazy doesn't pay well. And you guys just can't, being a professional signal copier can only, or copying like my live trades can only get you so far, right? If you want to take your trading to the next level, you're going to have to learn what we're doing here. It's not that difficult. Like I have the requirements right here. It's literally a checklist. If you can check off a wick rejection off the pivot, structure, make sure that the pivot doesn't touch the body, you're pretty much good to go. Because it's just 3 requirements. And then once you have those 3 requirements, you just take the trade. I mean, it's not that difficult. So if you guys want to learn the strategy, you guys can just go on the website, k2trades.com, and then click on K2 strategy course. And that's pretty much how everyone in K2 is making their own profits. Like, you know, like, let's see, like, for example, let's go to save messages. For example, Billy, like I didn't call any of these trades. I didn't call no GJ trades. I didn't call no US 30 trades during the Asia session. And Billy took all these trades on his own, and that's how much profit he made, right? I only called one US 30 trade this morning, which was this one. So if you guys took that trade, you would have made profit. Same with Spencer here. I didn't call any EJ trade. I did call a couple other, or actually I didn't call any of these here. So all these trades here are pretty much taken by Spencer on his own. I called the USDCHF trade though. So I called this one, but everything else I didn't call. So if you learn the strategy, you guys can do it yourself. You know, same with Ed over here. He made about like 10,000 last week, right, Ed? And all these trades here. So just showing you guys, you know, what's possible here. I don't call any of these trades here, like Monster FX. This dude took all these trades on his own. Like I did give my analysis for gold yesterday, but I didn't call them as actual signals. But, you know, Monster FX knows the strategy. So that's why he's able to take all these trades and lock in, you know, profit on his own. So let me finish sending this link out to everybody in the let's see, this over here. I'm going to send this over to the Instagram, and then we should be good to go. And we're still waiting for price to stabilize anyways. Swipe up. All right, got the Instagram sent out. Let me get this on the Facebook real quick, and then we should be good to go. Get this over here real quick. Looks like we should be good to go. Got that link right there. All right, links posted all the social media, and looks like we're ready to go. So if you guys have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I can look at anything you guys want right now, because US 30 is kind of pushed out far out anyway. So we will, in order for us to take any trades here, we'd have to wait for US 30 to come back down anyways, because these pivots have to catch up with price for us to take these entries off the 10-minute. Also here for the, let me delete all this, or let me go on the 15 real quick. This is going to be CT strategy. So this is CT's twist to the strategy. So this is CT K2 US 30 15-minute, or yeah, snipe variation. I'll just type into snipe variation. K2 snipe strategy variation, which is going to be 15-minute. Every time someone joins the room, it freezes up. 15-minute SR, 3-minute entry. So this is going to be CT's variation to the snipe strategy. It's pretty much the same thing. It's just identify K2 SR zones, 15-minute, to take entries on 3-minute. 2, 3, we're going to be looking for or identify rejection of K2 pivot, or identify wick rejection of K2 SR zone. 5, confirm wick rejection of K2 pivot does not touch candle body. So other than that, that's pretty much it. Those are all the requirements right there. It's the same strategy as a 10-minute. It's just the difference is the zones are drawn up on the 15, while the entries are taken on the 3. So that's why we have these zones here on the 15. Then we go down to the 3, and this would be the setup right here. So for example, right here, if this ends up rejecting off this here, which is in about a minute, like if this ends up rejecting right here, this would be a valid buy using this specific strategy. And we'll see this candle closes in about a minute. So we'll see if this closes out right here. I'm probably not going to take this trade because like I mentioned, I want it to come down. And it's got a long way to come down, or it's going to either bounce from this point right here as well. So I don't know if I'm going to take this, but I'll keep watching it with you guys. And then if we see one here, then we will try to take this here. We got about 35 seconds left on this candle. Let me see how far this move is going to be. If this, if this happens to be the case. Let's go on the 3 minute. We got about 20 seconds left on this candle. Let's see. Yeah, if you guys want to take it, this is going to be a risky trade right over here. I'm not going to take it, so it's not going to be counted as an official call. But if you guys want to take it, this would be a risky trade. So take it at your own risk. So this candle closes in about a second. There you go. So there would be the entry there if you're using this off the CT. If you're using CT's variation to the snipe strategy. Oh, no, actually, it's not an entry, guys. So if you guys are in it, you guys can close out in profit right now because it's in profit. It's not an entry because it didn't reject off the pivot right here. It attempted to, but it didn't. So if you guys want to close out, it is in profit. So this is like a reminder. This is at your risk, guys. If you guys want to hold on to it, but it's actually not a valid entry. The reason for not being a valid entry is that the pivot right here didn't touch the wick. So it's currently in profit. If you guys want to close out in profit, you guys can, because it's not an official trade. But if you guys want to risk it and hang on to it, you guys can do that as well. Because there might be another entry here. This might come down, reject off the pivot right here, and then it'll lock in, and that'll be considered another entry. But just like I mentioned, guys, if you guys want to close it out, this isn't an official trade because it didn't meet all the requirements. So the first requirement would have been to, well, we already identified the zones here on the 15 minute. We know to take the entries on the, here, I'll just make this like the same. It's the same thing. There we go. The requirements really start down here. The same requirements from the 10 minute. The only difference is that that price doesn't necessarily have to be taken on that one time frame. So a reminder, guys, this trade isn't an official trade, but this next one might be. So as you can see right here, if it does come back down and actually reject off the pivot, then this next candle might be an entry. So you get a better entry point down here. So just a reminder, if you guys took it, you guys can close that in profit. If not, if there's another entry, I'll show you guys, but I don't see anything right now. So I'm going over to the 10 minute, 3 minute. This is still coming down from there. But other than that, here, let me go check the chat real quick and see if there's anything else over here for us to look at. Yeah, see, that's why we have to be very careful about what we take, because it hasn't fulfilled the requirements there yet. So hopefully you guys close out when I told you guys to. If you guys held on, this is going to be a roller coaster for you guys because it's going to be bouncing around a lot. So other than that, let me go check the chat and see if there's anything else for us to look at here. I'm going to scroll up real quick. Yeah, definitely, Billy. I just saw your messages right now. So yeah, just focus on passing your FTMO. Don't focus on making big profits. It's more so just passing than having to make profits right now, because you don't get to keep those profits anyways. Your main goal is just to pass, and that's it. And then once you're funded, then you can start taking riskier trades. Let's see, morning memory. Hey, Jalon, how's it going? Jalon said, yeah, I don't need the live, but I mean, it's more fun to be on here at the same time. Yeah, exactly. That's what a lot of people do. They just have the live stream running in the background, and then they have they take their own trades on the side. Hey, Skull Street, how's it going, bro? Yeah, I know it's been a minute. I haven't seen you in a while. Let's see, Ed said there's news in 1 hour. So let me check the news real quick. Yeah, you're right. So Ed, there's news here at 7 a.m. So in about 9 minutes, there's news coming up. It's pending home sales. I don't think it's going to affect the market all that much. But then again, at 7:30, there's news for the crude oil inventories. So Biden does speak tonight or not tonight, but later in the afternoon at 1:20. I guess he has his press conference or something like that. And then other than that, we just have Aussie news later at 5:30. So for this session during New York, we just have 2 news events that are coming up in the next hour or so. Or we got one coming up in 8 minutes, and then we have another one coming up in about 30 minutes. So hopefully they don't affect the market too much. I don't think it's going to really have a huge impact. It'll probably push price around. But other than that, since we're scalping, it's not going to be like a huge deal. But this is perfect right here because this is what we were waiting for, right? We were looking for the same entry to set up down here. So for example, if you took this first entry that hit full TP, this is the snipe strategy that we were applying. And this is pretty much, price is doing exactly what we thought it would do, right? I mentioned that after the first move up, the following candle is either going to come back down to fill the gap from where it moved after market open, or it's going to continue pushing up. Obviously right here, it's filling the gap, right? So this is going to be the bias now that's coming back down, but it can easily come right back up. So we'll see. But like I mentioned, we have news coming up, so I'm not really going to take anything new right now. I'll be watching it if there is anything that comes up, but if not, I think for the most part right now, I'll be answering some questions. So let me just scroll down real quick a little further. Wilton wants me to take a look at SPX 500. Yeah, no problem, bro. Let me pull it up for you real quick. So I think that's the only question I got right now. If you guys have any other questions, just put them in the chat. Put any pair, put any time frame. If you are looking for like an intraday analysis, scalp analysis, I can do any analysis for you guys. But for right now, Wilton wants SPX 500. So I'll do that from a top-down analysis. I'll go from the 1 hour and I'll drop down to the scalp session as well. I mean, the scalp time frame to identify, trades from both directions. So let me see if there's anything else here for me to look at before we continue. Here, let me scroll over real quick. Yeah, Hugo, I'm trying to work on that, bro. Sorry, I'm trying to get those subtitles for you. It's just, we have, well, I mean, even if we had subtitles, it wouldn't be for these live streams, Hugo, because you'd probably need a third-party application for you to translate live while I'm having these live streams. But I'll try to get those subtitles for you guys in Brazil, in the next, I don't know, couple months or so, if I can find one that's reliable. Because I go live 3 or 5 times a day, and each live session is about 5 hours. So it's going to be hard to find someone that's willing to translate this for me, because I got a lot of stuff that I cover on here. Nice. So watching from a distance, I'm loving RSG UK. My target is what's GBX? Let me check. So we have one person here in the chat. He mentioned something, but I've never heard of that before. Was it GBX? GBX 98, he said. Yeah, honestly, I don't know what you're referring to watching from a distance. Target for, or you said RSG UK. I'm assuming RSG UK might be the UK 100. I don't know if you if you know the symbol for TradingView, I can pull it up for you, but I'm not sure what RSG is. I've never seen that before. RSG UK. Unless you're talking about, I mean, there's a lot of RSGs here. Unless you're talking about the Russell 100. I'm assuming the Russell 100 is a UK 100, right? Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure which one is it, but if you have the, if you know the equivalent to RSG, I don't know if that's UK 100. It seems like it might be. No, but you're talking about mining. Let's see. Let's do Pikachu over here. This dude always comes in, and obviously this dude doesn't know how to trade. He's over here trolling us during New York session. So obviously you don't know how to trade, bro. Dude over here always wants to bother us. It's all good. Everyone knows who Pikachu is anyways. You guys already clowned him in the chat in the Zoom before, so you guys know exactly who he is, and it's funny. It's funny because he still comes in here, even though I already laughed him out every other time he was in here. It's just too hilarious, bro. Let's see. Let's see. The GBX is currency. Are you talking about the BXY? Because the BXY is the pound currency. Watching from a distance. Because I don't see anything here for RSG. Because RSG could be nice, go straight. I'm trying to figure out what RSG is here. Yeah, sorry, bro. I'm trying to find RSG, but I don't find the actual symbol here. Watching from a distance. But yeah, whatever. I'm gonna scroll over to the other one. Oh, here's Gerald. Gerald just made it into the group. Gerald, you see Pikachu just made it in? Oh man. This is freaking funny. Look at this freaking guy still talking in the chat, bro. Everyone like laughed you out of the chat last time when you're in the other live session trolling. Everyone was making fun of everything about you, bro. How you look, how you talk, everything that you do, bro. And you still come in here trying to troll everybody. It's all good. Everybody knows who you are. It's like nice. Paul said his TP smashed. Cool. You're in that gold scalp, Paul. I'll take a look at that as well. So let me just go up real quick, and then I will pull that up real quick. So let's see. We got Paul for gold. So I'll take a look at that, bro. Paul wants me to take a look at gold. Let's see if there's anything else over here. Yik said, I was up at 2 a.m. studying last night. Quick question. Would you recommend as a good starting size for an account if I wanted to make, say, 200 a day? So if you want to make 200 a day, we only recommend risking like, let's see, risking about like 1 to 3% per active trades. So like, for example, if you want to make 200 a day and you're going for like maybe a 3% gain, every day, you would probably do, let's see, I'm thinking like 2,000. You want 200. You probably need quite a bit to do it properly. I mean, you can always like make more if you want to take higher risk, but if you're using proper risk management, so let's see, times 3, you probably need a $7,000 account. Yeah, if that's your goal. Oh, no, sorry, numbers off. 7,000 times 0.3. Yeah, so if you have a $7,000 account and you're going for, you're using proper risk per trade, then you would Aaron just messaged me. Yeah, you would need like about 7,000 in your account, because if you're using proper risk and you're only going for a 3% gain per day, where you have maybe like a 1% trade for every trade that you take, you only need like three trades a day, or maybe a few more trades a day to reach that 200 goal. So this is using proper risk here. Yeah, we always recommend using proper risk because we don't want you guys to blow accounts. The main reason why people blow accounts is because they don't use proper risk, right? They go too heavy, and then they end up losing more money than they should daily, or they revenge trade, they overtrade, stuff like that. So if you're using proper risk, your account should be around 7,000. If you want to use like proper risk management and actually grow your account consistently, that's how much you would probably need, if you plan on making that much daily. It's going to be a slow process, but it's going to be a slow and consistent process making those profits there. So just keep that in mind. If that's what you're looking for, and that's pretty much what I would recommend for you. And what's up, Tro? Morning, everybody. Yeah, everyone's just ignoring the He keeps talking, but everyone's ignoring him. It's all good. See, Des wants me to take a look at USDCHF, so I'll pull up USDCHF for Des as well. CHF. Yeah, I already got you down there, Des. So I got you right there. Let me see if there's anything else here that I'm looking at as we continue on. So let me scroll down real quick. Let's see. Yik said also, do you have your TD account connected with your TradingView? You can't do that yet. It's not possible to connect your TD account. They're two different trading platforms, so I don't think they'll ever support that, where you can connect your TD to TradingView. For TradingView, there's other brokers that are available. You just go to the brokers. I don't have it on my list here. Yeah, so if you go here, the broker page, you can see that these are all the brokers that are available for TradingView. Yeah, so if you want to use any of these, you can, but TD Ameritrade doesn't link to Thinkorswim. I mean, Thinkorswim doesn't link to TradingView. If that's what you wanted to use, you have to use like different. You'd have to use different platforms. AT guys, good morning. Let's see. Memory to Shawn, just want to know why you love US 30 so much compared to other indices. Also, when you get a chance, NASDAQ 100, S&P for us building small accounts. Because there's no real other reason to use anything else. S&P moves the fastest among all the other indices, and it makes us the most profit, obviously. Like obviously you can see here, everyone's profits. There's something that Pikachu could never do. We make about 1,000 here for Billy. Spencer made 2,201, and he trades mostly US 30, right? All these people generally trade US 30. Ed made 7,000 here. It's like money that Pikachu's never seen before. Let's see. Same with like Spencer over here. Oh no, here I already showed Spencer. Let's see everyone else here. See Josh, US 30. Braden over here trades like GU and stuff. But majority of people here trade US 30. Like even David or CT over here, he trades just US 30, and this is how much profit he makes off US 30. Again, something that Pikachu's never seen before. So you see Soup here too. See, all his trades are all US 30. So he makes about 3,199. And this is all from yesterday. So March 30th is the timestamp right here. And that's pretty much, why we trade US 30, because it moves fast and it's easy to read. So yeah, pretty much obviously this dude over here. Yeah, it's the Pikachu. Oh, it's funny in the Zoom meeting, he said Pikachu. Yeah, they said Pikachu got a peanut brain. Yeah, I know he does. I mean, he looks like he does, bro. So it's all good. You guys can keep planning on him in the Zoom. It's all good if you guys want to. You guys keep messaging me about all the stuff that you remember of him. Yeah, it's all good, man. I don't care. This is annoying. So I'm gonna take him off there. Let's see if we got anything else right here real quick as we continue. But yeah, memory, that's pretty much why we trade US 30, because it yields the best profits for us. So it's definitely how we generally we trade it. Exactly. Hey Marcus, how's it going, bro? Let me just check real quick what else we're looking at over here. Let's see. So this was an entry here, guys, if you guys decided to take this over here. So this was an entry here. I didn't call it for you guys because, like I mentioned, it's still kind of risky for us to trade because I think it's going to come back down further. But looking at this right here, this would be another scalp entry. But like I mentioned, I'm going to wait for it to come down a bit before we decide to take any other trades. If you guys want to take it, this would be an active trade that would have been from this entry here. But I personally wouldn't take it myself. That's why I'm just waiting for this to smoothen out before we actually take these trades. Because it's going to have to smoothen out a bit. Like we don't want to enter it if it goes into consolidation, because then if it goes into consolidation, it can swing back for a sell instead of a buy. But this would have been a 10-minute entry here if you guys were following the strategy where we confirm the wick rejection off the pivot, wick rejection off the K2 SR zone, and we just make sure that the pivot doesn't touch the candle body. So with that said, this would have been an entry here and it's currently in profit if you guys took it, but this isn't going to be an official call. So if you guys want to take it at your own risk, but just, be aware that this is going to be a risky trade for you guys to be taking. Let's see over here real quick. Yeah, Pikachu has always been talking. He's always talking about calling trades and stuff, but this dude never calls anything, never sends a chart. Exactly, Peter, right? Waiting for this clown to do something. We got to give him a donkey of the day. Goes to Pikachu for being a troll as usual. That's why this dude's over here trolling, because he doesn't know how to trade, bro. It's US session. If it's New York session and you have time to troll, you're not a trader because you're not trading. You're just in other groups trolling other people. So it's all good. Or just go back to options, bro. You suck at doing that too. I mean, like everything that Pikachu does is nothing works. That's why this dude hops from he hops from Forex and he says it's a scam because he sucks at Forex. He goes to US 30, sucks at US 30, then calls that a scam. And then now he's over here at for doing options, and this dude still sucks at options. So it's like, man. No, not at all, RD. This dude comes in all the time. Like, you haven't been here before, RD, but like this dude always comes in and he tries to troll, bro, every single time. Like the last time he was trolling, we just kept hitting TP after TP, and it's just funny because it's like, dude, you're here bothering us while we're profiting, and you just like, you think you're making a difference, but you're not. Here, let me see. All right, here's the other chats here real quick. So I'm trying to get through the whole chat right now because everything here is there's just a lot of messages. So let's see. Trading. Mark said, Shawn, do you have a good system for trading currency trading that I can also learn? Yeah, Mark, all the strategies here work for everything. It's for currencies, indices, and for like anything that you want to trade, really, currencies, commodities, indices, stocks, all that stuff. Monster FX is asking, hey, Shawn, the K2 10-minute sniper strategy can be replicated on the 15-minute? Yeah, it can. This is CT strategy here off the 15-minute. So basically, he just draws his zones on the 15-minute and he takes entries on the 3-minute. But if you want to apply the actual strategy on the 15-minute, you can do that as well. It's the same thing. So if I go over here to the 15-minute chart, you guys can see over here. Let's see, this over here is I'll just show you an entry that, you know, was possibly available here if you were trading this on the 15 minutes. So I'll just draw this up here because this is the first one that I could see that is pretty clear. So for example, if you wanted to apply the same strategy here on the 15-minute, you could do this right here as well. You can see that there's a rejection off this point right here. Same exact requirements, rejection off the wick. Wick rejection off the pivot, wick rejection off the structure. You take the short position right here, you let that run, and full TP, right? So it does work here too. It also works over here as well if this is what you're, what you're looking for, Monster FX. So this is pretty much how this works here. So other than that, let me see if there's any other questions here as we continue on. All right, so I'm scrolling down the list right here. Let me just go back to the US 30 here. So if you guys took that 10-minute entry, it's still running. But like I mentioned, it's not really worth taking right now. It's too risky. Here's a 3-minute over here. We have a pending buy on the 3-minute. If that happens, it's going to line up with this entry as well. So this might be a good entry actually to take if that becomes the case. But we'll keep watching here as well to see if there's anything on the 3-minute. If you guys are trying to copy or do Josh's strategy, this is Josh's Josh K2 3-minute, Josh K2 US 30 3-minute scalp. So for Josh's entry right here, I'm trying to remember what Josh's strategy was for. So for Josh, you want to confirm or identify K2 momentum signal. Yeah, so right here, it's going to be identify K2 momentum signal. 2, identify, or let's see, 2A, confirm price break and close past K2 pivot. Sorry, every time someone joins the Zoom, it goes off. So the second requirement is confirm price break and close past K2 pivot. Level 3, I don't know if it's 3 and 4 or 3 or 4. I'm assuming it's 3 and 4, right? So 3 and 4, and then 2B. So Josh, if I'm doing this wrong, just correct me. I think these are your requirements here. Identify K2 momentum signal, confirm break and price, break and close past K2 pivot level 1 or 2, or I think the next requirement here is going to be or confirm momentum signal above or below all pivots. So I think that's it for this strategy here. So if we've seen entry here, this is what we'll look for. If you want to see an example of this strategy right here, first we identify valid, well, not a valid, but just the K2 momentum signal right here. We have a buy signal. Second, you want to confirm that price breaks and close past K2 pivots 3 and 4. Right here, it's above the pivot, so that doesn't apply. For 2B, you just confirm that the momentum signal is above or below all pivots. So for example, here, price was above all the pivots, and that's why Josh would have taken this trade right here for a long position, and his TP would have been 25.25 or 25.50, depending on what you guys want to apply. And if you let that run, obviously right there, full TP. So that's pretty much how Josh's strategy right here works. So let me keep going down over here real quick, and then I will show you exactly. Let's see. Just finish getting this over here real quick. All right, we should be good. We finally just banned this dude from like bothering us. But let me check what else we got over here. All right, other than that, let me go back over here to show you guys what we were looking at over here. Let's see, the next one that we were looking at was, so these are pretty much all the 3 snipe strategies that we use here. The 3 scalp strategies we use for US 30 would be Josh's 3-minute strategy, the 10-minute strategy right here, which I didn't recommend taking, and then also CT's variation right here as well. So that's pretty much all of the entries that were available for, for these right here. But other than that, there is news going on right now too, guys. So this is why I'm not taking any active trades, because as I mentioned, there is US news right now at 7 a.m. and there's also US news at 7:30 a.m. right here for the US pairs. So that's why we're not really taking any trades right now. I'm just waiting for the news to pass. And then once it passes, price will start to stabilize in one direction or the other. So that's pretty much what we're looking for here right now as we're watching. So other than that, let me check real quick to see what other questions we have as we continue. All right, so I'm going to skip all these questions for now, guys, and I'll zoom back up to see what you guys are asking for. But let me see what else we got right here. As we move on. All right, cool. So the first one that I'm going to look at is SPX for Wilton. So Wilton wants me to take a look at SPX real quick. So let me go over here to SPX. Yeah, a huge drop right here for USDCHF. The drop here is probably because of the news. So I'll analyze that in a little bit too. Obviously, this big spike was just off this one candle. So I'll look at SPX first for Wilton, and then we will we'll go back to USDCHF shortly. But yeah, this big drop right here is obviously because of the news, because the news just happened right now at 7. So this candle happened around, just now, or even if we go on the short time frame, the 30-minute, you guys can see that the drop started happening like right around this time market open, right? And that's when the news event happened right here for the US. So there's news here at 7 a.m. and then another news event that's coming in about 15 minutes. Other than that, I don't see if there's anything else that's really causing the market to move like this over here. Let's see if there's anything else right here. I don't see anything really affecting the US dollar or affecting the Swiss franc. They usually move opposite of each other. So we'll come back and look at that shortly. But right now I'm going to look at SPX and I'll analyze that from scratch. So here's SPX right here. I'll go back on the hour. So I'll analyze this from scratch and I'll show you guys my whole thought process in identifying everything. So right here, basically at this point, this is going to be a naked chart. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to identify market structure. I'll do that by turning on the K2 SR indicator right here. And by drawing our zones right here to identify these rejection points. So that's pretty much all that we're doing over here real quick. To identify, where to trade and where not to trade. So I'm going to make sure that these don't overlap. Here. So I'm basically just identifying this on the higher time frame, and then from this I can move down to the shorter ones as well. So other than that, got this over here. All right, so with that said, we've identified market structure. I think S&P is at an all-time high, or it's getting to the all-time high, right? Yeah, it's pretty much at an all-time high. So looking at the S&P right here, if I zoom in a little bit, you guys can see that this is going to be market structure. So obviously you can, like, once you have the zones drawn up, you can chop up where market structure pushes from. So like, for example, here, you can like chop this up as this area here, vertical line. From this point, price breaks into the structure above here. It breaks into this structure above here. So from this point, that's market structure, right? Bullish move. Right here is consolidation within this area, consolidating. And you can pretty much, once you draw a market structure, you can chop up pieces to see where everything moves from. And this will help you identify things when you're looking for what's important and what's not. So looking at current price here, looks like, well, you guys can see, obviously, I drew up this market structure here and I just chopped it up into little pieces. Over here, because you can see price goes from different phases, right? It'll go from like a bullish phase to a consolidating phase to a bearish phase. And like right here, for example, bearish, bullish. And then looking at current price, we can cut this off from right here. So this current market structure would start from right here, right? And the reason for that's because you can see from March 25th up until March 26th for this day, it was a bullish push, right? But since then, price broke into this structure and now it's just been going sideways this way, right? In between this structure above here and this structure down here, right? So with that said, I mean, this is what's important. So like, as long as you guys are able to identify market structure, it makes all the difference because you guys won't be focusing on what's going on over here. This is pretty much irrelevant at that point. What's relevant now is that we identify where price currently is, right? So you can see right here, price broke into this structure at about, here, let's see, at about March 26th at 12 a.m. And then from that point, price has attempted to, break this structure right here, which it hasn't broken it yet. So with that said, it's been in this area from, let's see how many days it's been in here for. It's been this day from like 4 days now. So what would we be looking for is we'd be looking for price to break and close past this structure right here. And then we also would want to be waiting for it to close above here. Because if once price breaks above here, the only difference is going to be, this up here, if it breaks above this area, because this would be the all-time high. If it breaks above here, then obviously it's probably going to keep pushing up. But we would have to wait to confirm for price to break above this area right here. But until then, this dude's still trying to troll. So Pikachu here keeps saying that he's trying to call a trade, but he's been here for like over like 2 years now. This dude still hasn't called one trade. And I don't get it, dude. Like people have nothing better to do than troll at people's groups. All right, it's whatever. It's all good. Anyways, back to this here, what I was talking about for S&P. We're just waiting for it to break and close past this structure. Once we have that, it's probably going to keep pushing up. But the main key level is going to be above here. This is going to be the main key level for S&P because this is going to be the all-time high right here. This is going to be the all-time high. So once it breaks above here, then this is going to be a better confirmation that it's going to, continue pushing up even higher. But this is pretty much the market structure that we're looking at right now, right? Price broke into this structure on March 26th. And then since then, it's just been going sideways. It's bounced up, bounced down, bounced up, and just going sideways for the most part since then. So this is basically how, we would identify this. But currently right now, price is still attempting to break this structure right here. Once it breaks it, then we could probably see a bigger push up. Looking over here, the last time it broke it right here, that's when it established the all-time high. So on March 17, price broke structure. It pushed up to the all-time high right here, and then it came back down, right? So same situation here. Once it breaks the structure, we can look at this from a different perspective to see whether it's going to, break above it or if it's going to reject down here. So that's all that we're looking for at this point. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much our bigger analysis for S&P. We can also look at it from the scalp perspective. See, and this is why I decided not to take this trade because there's news and because price is still coming back down. So you can see this arrow right here. I mentioned that once price opens on this opening candle, it's either going to continue pushing up or it's going to come down to where it was originally before the big spike up, right? So now it's currently right there. And then from this point, now that price has reached this area, it can either continue dropping from this point or it can bounce back up. So it can do one of two things. So different scenarios come up after different scenarios are satisfied, right? So the first scenario, when this first candle opened, I mentioned that price will either continue pushing up or it's going to come back down to where it originally was. Now price is back down to where it originally was. And at this point, price will either bounce back up from here or it'll just keep dropping from here. So once this happens right here, it'll set a direction and then we can start taking more scalps as we, as we continue on with this. So that's pretty much all that we're waiting for here. So once this happens right here, then we can start looking for some trades for US 30. There's also news that's coming up again in the next 8 minutes. So that's something that we'd want to wait for before we start taking these trades here. But yeah, it looks like the US news at 7 o'clock was not good. The previous number for pending home sales was negative 2.4%. They were forecasting just a 1% difference. But then from this point over here, this is pretty much what we'll be looking for. Like, because we wanted this to be closer to like where the forecast was, it was a lot worse. So they were only expecting it to go down by 1%. It actually went down 10%. So with that said, that's why the US dollar is like super weak right now, because this is going to affect the market pretty heavily. So we'll keep watching. We're probably not going to mess with any US 30. I mean, not any USD trades for a bit until the news is passed. And keep in mind that this is NFP week, guys. So this week it normally moves kind of weird like that. That's why we're being a little more careful with our trades here. But obviously, people here in K2 are still profiting even with, these market conditions here. Like Billy's still able to lock in profits here, and like everyone over here as well. So like, even though we're not taking all those trades, everyone else is still taking trades here, because I only called like 2 or 3 trades this week. And most of them hit TP for the most part. And yeah, for right here, you see everyone's still profiting. So if you guys know the strategy, you guys can trade other things. You guys don't have to trade US 30 with me here. But obviously other people in K2 are still profiting, because we have a whole list of profits here for everyone from like this week barely. And it's only Wednesday. So other than that, guys, this is it for this right here. And this is it for S&P. Next up, we'll be looking at, or actually, let me show you a scalp here off S&P to see if there's anything available. I don't think there's going to be anything available right now. But yeah, looking at this here, same strategy that I just showed you for US 30, it works for S&P as well. So if I go and rewind this over here, you guys can see the same strategy right here. We look for the wick rejection off the pivot, wick rejection off the structure, which is happening right here. And the pivot doesn't touch the body, right? So if you enter a long position here, this is where you would take this trade for S&P using the same strategy we use for US 30, and it would have hit full TP right there, right? So that's how you can see that people here use the same strategy on different assets. You don't have to use it on US 30. You can use it on everything else. Like for example here, who trades S&P? Let's see. Spencer trades that. Let's see. I know there's a couple people here who trade other indices. So let me check real quick. Yeah, mostly everyone here trades US 30, but for the most part, there's other people here who trade other things. Like I think Cheryl trades a DAX 30. So yesterday she made 2,501. I guess our strategy doesn't work, but we're still making profit every day. DAX 30 over here, that's what she trades. So Cheryl right here making it with K2, that's her name. If you guys ever see her in the chat, she's usually making like pretty good profit every day. She trades the DAX 30, she trades UK 100, she trades US 30. And there's a couple other ones too. She usually sends like 2 sets of profits because she has a couple accounts. So as you guys can see here, there's other people here who trade other things as well. Dennis over here, he just trades US 30. But just showing you guys here, this same strategy works for everything. It works for both S&P. It works for all the Forex pairs. It works for the cryptos. It works for anything. Like whatever you guys want to trade, it works because it's based off momentum. So yeah, the news is coming right now in about 5 minutes, guys. We have about 5 minutes until the crude inventories are released. So let me just update this. It's supposed to be negative, so it's not going to be good for the US dollar. It was 1.5 mil last, or we'll see. We'll see how it ends up playing on this right here. Let me see this one over here. Yeah, we still got some time. We got about 4 minutes. So I'll come back and check on that in a little bit. But other than that, that's pretty much my analysis for S&P right there. I'll move on to the next one now. So the next one is going to be for, let's see, Paul wants me to take a look at gold. So let me pull up gold for you guys real quick. So let's see. I know I marked up gold for you guys yesterday. So let's see if what we marked out. Yeah. So look, so like I mentioned here, price was over here the other day when I marked it up for you guys, and we were waiting for it to come down, which it tested right here. And like I mentioned, once price reaches a structure like this, it can do one of two things. It can bounce off, or it can break below and continue dropping from there. So I'll just analyze this from scratch. Let me delete everything off the chart, zoom out from here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw market structure for you guys right here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that for you guys, so that we can identify these rejection points. So looking at this here, we got that. We got this right here. We got this right there. We got this one over here as well. This one right there. There and that right there. All right. So once you draw the market structure there for gold, you can identify, where current market structure is and what's important. So looking at this here, you can see price was consolidating between this area over here. So I'm just going to give you guys the same analysis I did for you guys yesterday. You can identify where market structure changes, right? So for example, here, price breaks between here, it breaks below here. So this is market structure between this time period from January 8th up until February 4th. So obviously from this point, price is just going sideways over here. And then obviously price breaks below, right? So as it breaks below, this becomes the new market structure right here. So this becomes the new market structure over here from this area. And you can see that price kind of consolidates, but it eventually comes down, right? Comes up, then it comes down. And then price breaks into this market structure right here. And then this is where we can split, current market structure where price currently is. So looking at this here, you can see that we can just chop this up into different areas as well. So from here, price drops from here. It's a big bearish move right here. Then it swings back up and just consolidates again from this area over here. So looking at this point right here, this is pretty much, all that's important, because obviously you guys can see here, if you guys have this market structure, you guys are able to identify, the different phases which gold goes through. It goes through consolidation, bearish, consolidation, and now it's currently within these two zones right here. So what's important right here are these two zones. Looking at gold here, in order to identify, what's going to happen next, things that you'd look out for is whether price breaks above here. At that point, you can take a buy. Vice versa, if price ends up coming up here and swings back down, closes below this area, then you can take a sell, right? Otherwise, price is just going to keep consolidating within this area here. Obviously, you can see when price was above this area, price is just consolidating sideways. And then same situation over here, price is just consolidating right here as well. So that's why it's important for you guys to wait for price to break and close outside of, specific critical price points right here, because from this point, the last thing you want to do is enter a buy right now, because obviously it looks bullish right here. The last thing you want to do is enter a buy, and then it ends up reversing on you, right? Rejecting off this point, comes back down. So that's why you want to wait for that confirmation for price to break and close above here. Because if you wait for it, like for example, right here, you can see this candle right here. Sorry guys, dogs are barking. All right, I'm back. So yeah, basically right here, basically for this right here, this is what we'd be looking for. And in order for us to get this bias here, I'll turn on the momentum indicator. And for right here, we have a pending buy signal, right? So before this right here, before this buy signal, we had a sell signal, right? So looking at this here, we had a sell signal right here. And this is why we were looking for sells. So when price broke structure right here, we would have taken this sell and then wrote it down to this area down here, right? Full TP. Same situation with this one over here. Price broke structure again down here. Take another sell, full TP, right? So for this situation here, before the signal came up, we were waiting for price to break and close down here because we still had a sell bias, right? Because the sell signal is right there. However, now we have a buy signal right here. So with this buy signal right here, it's going to indicate that momentum is swinging back upwards, because you can see, obviously, we had a sell signal, it swung down. We have a buy signal. As long as this closes above this zone right here, this would provide for a buy entry for us. So with this over here, this would provide for a valid buy entry, because it's the same thing. Like, we look for sells here. Now we're looking for buys because this would be a buy signal. But if this signal doesn't close, like say, for example, this signal disappears. If this disappears and it comes back down, then you can start looking for some sells. But until then, our bias right now until this closes will probably be a buy. So that's pretty much my analysis for gold right there. And I'm assuming that's where you caught that scalp, Paul, right? It seems like you probably caught it when it rejected off this point, like I mentioned, because yesterday on the live session, I mentioned that price can, so this is what we saw yesterday. Price was like down there. And from this point, price could do one of two things. It can reject off this point, or it can drop from here. Obviously, price didn't drop from there. It shot up. So you could have taken a buy right there. So I'm assuming that's where you caught your scalp. So pretty nice profit off that, Paul, because I did see you lock in some pretty good profit off that, not too long ago. So other than that, that's it for gold. So other than that, let me pull up the next one real quick, or let me go through the chat real quick and see if I'm missing anything else before we continue. So let's see. Let me scroll up real quick. Nice. Yeah. So Paul said TP smash for that. So that's pretty good, bro. Let me keep. Yeah. RD said trading gold is like flipping a coin at the moment. Madness. Yeah. That's what I'm saying too, bro. That's why I'd be waiting for it to confirm, because I see some people hop into some risky trades. But for me, obviously I want to wait for it to confirm whether it's a buy or a sell before I hop into something. Let's see if there's anything else right here real quick. And John said, Jesus ripped some souls trading US30. Exactly. So we're not really trading it right now, guys. We're just holding off on it at the moment because there's not really much for us to really look at, especially during the news right now. So let's see. Hassan's asking for NZD USD. So I'll take a look at that as well. A lot of the USD moves this morning, guys, is because of the news. So there's a lot of news this morning, like I mentioned. There is news for US all morning. So the crude inventory oils, let's see. So the crude oil inventories wasn't that bad. It was just off by a little bit. It was 1.9 mil previously. They were forecasting negative 1.3 mil, but it was only a 0.9 mil. So it's not horrible, but the pending home sales was really bad because they were only forecasting negative 3%. It ended up being negative 10.6%. So that affected the US dollar pretty heavily. So other than that, let me go back to the chat and see if there's anything else that I missed real quick. I'm just going to zoom through a lot of these. Hey, Marcus, how's it going, bro? Jay said, started watching the videos on your channel from last year. Awesome stuff. Hard to keep up, though. Do you recommend any resources for studying? I mean, you can go to babypips.com, Jay, depending on what you're looking for. I mean, there's a lot of different resources you can use, but one of the main things is Baby Pips if you want to learn everything for free. It's just a lot of information, so it's kind of hard to sift through what's important and what's not. But if you want a pretty in-depth, if you want a pretty in-depth education, so you can go to babypips.com. Let me just pull it up for you. Yeah, if you go to babypips.com, you can just go to education right here, and then you can do the, the School of Pipology or whatever. It's a really in-depth course, so they have a lot of information. It just, it's really boring. So it depends on how much you can focus if that's something that you want to learn off there. So that's another resource for you if that's something that you want to go look at. Other than that, let me see if there's any other questions here before I analyze the next pair. Perfect. Yeah. So EX said perfect. I'm on the right track. Definitely, bro. You are. Let's see if there's anything else here for me to continue. Jalan's asking, is he the same guy asking for 50 bucks? No, it's a different guy, Jalan. You guys can ask him the Zoom. I think Flynn knows. Flynn's the one that called him out last time. Cheryl said, hi, Shawn. For the snipe strategy, do you recommend watching the pivot training videos first, or can I just jump in straight into learning the snipe strategy since the snipe strategy includes the pivots? So, Charlie, you can learn it right away. It's not that difficult, right? You just need the main thing that you need is going to be the K2 indicators. So you need the K2 indicators just to identify where the zones are and where the rejection points are. But you really don't have to learn any of the other strategies. If this is all that you want to learn and this is all you want to trade, this is all that you need to learn. You don't need to go and learn this, that, and the other, because there's a lot of stuff that you can learn from K2. But if this is what you like to trade like everyone else, you can just focus on this, because this is where people make the most of their profit using the snipe strategy. So looking at US 30 right now, guys, looks like there's going to be an entry right here for a sell if you guys want to take it. Let me just check the zones to make sure everything is done proper. Let's see. Yeah, this looks like a good trade right here, guys. So if this closes right here, I'll probably take it with you guys. The requirements are being met here. We have a wick rejection off the K2 pivot, wick rejection off the K2 SR zone right here. And we just got to make sure that these pivots don't touch the body, which it's currently not touching the body. As long as the price stays below here, it'll be fine. And you guys can take a short position here if you guys would like. So let me get mine ready too. We got about 1:54 on this candle right here. Once this closes, you guys can hop into this trade if you guys like. I'll probably hop into this with you guys as well, because I think the market is kind of smoothened out a bit at this point. Let me see if there's anything else here real quick. Let's see, sentiment is, it's only 65% people short. It's not horrible. This might be a risky trade though, so keep that in mind, guys. The reason it's going to be risky is because price has been bouncing around so much, like back and forth. So it might be a little risky, but if you guys want to take it, feel free. I'll probably take it with you guys. I'm going to take a smaller lot size just to let this trade run through, because we just need that one trade to get our feet in the water. And then once we feel comfortable with how price is moving, then we can continue to start taking more scalps. But the real key here is just to identify that the market's actually moving smoother than it was earlier, and it's actually safe to enter the trade. But we don't really know until we actually take our first trade after, this big move right here has happened. So I'm probably going to hop into this trade with you guys. We got about 50 seconds left on this candle. Once it does close, we will we'll be able to hop into this. All right, so it doesn't look like there's going to be an entry here, guys, because it just pushed up. So if this ends up pushing up and it doesn't reject off the pivots right here, like the bodies within the pivots, then obviously we're not going to be able to take this trade. Looks like the market is still bouncing around a lot, so we need to stay a little. Let me check this real quick over here. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to take this trade. If you guys want to take it, you guys can take it at your own risk, but I still don't feel comfortable with taking this trade right now because, like I mentioned, I would want a clean entry, and we need that first trade for us to, get our feet wet before we really start taking normal scalps. But it just doesn't look safe to me. So if you guys want to take it, you guys can. I'll mark it up for you guys, and if you guys want to take it, feel free. There you go. So this would have been the trade here, but this is an at your risk trade, guys. I still don't feel like the market is smoothened out yet. It's still bouncing back and forth. In between the pivots. We want price to be directional. Like, for example, here, we want price to go down like this so that we can take sell scalps in this direction, vice versa. We want price to be moving smooth up like this so that we can take buy scalps in that direction. Right now, price is currently just bouncing back and forth. It's just too risky for me to really want to enter these trades because it's just going to keep bouncing back and forth, right? It's going to keep going up and down. And that's why I wouldn't take these trades here. But if you guys want to take it, you guys can. Just, be cognizant that this is going to be at your own risk. And, the risk right here is really high because price just keeps bouncing back and forth. So I'm not going to take this trade here. I'm not sure if anyone else took it, but I'm definitely not going to be entering anything until this stuff starts to, smoothen out a bit. So yeah, I'm not taking this trade. Hopefully you guys can take it because it's just, price is just bouncing around too much right now. And the main issue is it's not that price keeps bouncing around. The main issue is that our stop loss is too tight. It's only 500 pips, which is 50 ticks. And that's not much of a movement because you guys can see here that this candle moved a total of 1,130 pips. Vice versa, the candle right after it, following, this dropped like 500 pips there. So if price is moving like 500 pips per candle, it's going to be too risky for you to enter any trades for these scalps, because what could happen is price can hit your stop loss before it hits your target. And with price whipsawing like this, it just becomes too much of a risk. So I'm not going to take that trade. I'm not sure if Josh is going to take this trade right here. This trade right here actually falls under Josh's requirements if this is what you were looking for. But, like I was mentioning earlier, it's not really the time to hop in at anything right now, especially for US 30 because it moves so fast. All right, but other than that, I think that's it for right now. I'm going to go ahead and follow the questions here. Let me see the other questions here real quick. Steven's asking if the news events are over. Yeah, all the news events are over right now, but sometimes market has a late reaction to the news. Like sometimes price doesn't move immediately. You'd have to wait, a couple hours or so. So there's actually a lot of stuff going on today. Biden's going to speak today at 1:20. So I'm probably going to be out of all of my trades by like lunchtime or before lunchtime if I'm like still in anything. But other than that, we'll continue to follow through with our analysis here. Well, I'll keep this marked up. I didn't take this trade, and I told you guys that this was a risky trade, but we'll keep it marked up and we'll just see how it plays out as we continue on with our analysis today. So let me see what else we got over here real quick. Let me scroll up. We got a lot of questions here. Let me scroll down a little bit. Yeah, Monster. So it looks like I answered your question for that already. All right, so the next question here is going to be for USDCHF. So let me pull up USDCHF for you guys. I know we're currently in that trade right now, and it's not looking so good because of the news this morning for the USD. Same with like NZD USD. Hopefully you guys pulled out of that trade when it hit TP. But I'll pull up USDCHF over here real quick. Let me see. So USDCHF. I'm going to take everything off the chart. I'm going to go on the 4 hour right here. Sorry, 4 minute, 4 hour. So here's a 4 hour. I'm going to go ahead and draw my structure. So looking at this here, this is a naked chart. I'm going to turn on my K2 indicator to identify market structure for you guys. So first and foremost, we're going to draw that right there. We'll draw these over here as well. This one right here. Down here. Well, this market structure down here is kind of relevant because price is so far from it. But I will, I'm going to draw it just for reference so that you guys can see, how far this market structure extends to, depending on what you're looking at. Let's see. There. All right, so looking at this here from this point, we just need to look for the upper structure. Since there's no upper structure here, we got to go and look for the ceiling. So I'm going to go and pull up the 8 hour over here. Nothing there. We're going to go up to the daily. Let's see. Also, price is currently within a structure right now for the, I think it's within the daily resistance or support. All right, so we have that drawn up. I'm going to go over to current price now. So I'm going to take everything off the chart. All right, so looking at this right here, I mean, obviously you can see that USDCHF was pretty choppy at this point. The big drops right here happened because of the news. So this happened right now, just about an hour ago. And the reason for that is that we had medium impact US news this morning. So we had news at 7 o'clock for the US dollar, which was not good for the US dollar. We also had the crude oil inventories at 7:30, which was about 10 minutes ago. Also not good for the US dollar. So with that said, that's why the US dollar spiked down, right? Because generally if price spikes down, that means that the second currency is stronger than the first currency, right? So for example, here when price was going up, that means that the US dollar is stronger than the Swiss franc. Vice versa, there was bad news for the US dollar right here for both of the US news this morning. And that's why price ended up coming down. When price comes down, that means that the US dollar is weak, right? Because the CHF, Swiss franc, moves opposite of the US dollar. So this drop right here was based off the news. Obviously, you can see it was pretty bullish like since March 22nd. So, well, not even March 22nd. If you look back all the way from January, it's been bullish. So from January, it was bullish. Then it went to consolidation right here all throughout the beginning of the March. And then it became bullish again. And then this news event happened, causing price to spike down. So I personally think it's going to correct back up. I think it's probably going to swing back up from this point. But, you know, it is a risky trade right now because it's all based off news. So another confirmation to look at USD CHF right here is I would pull up the index over here. So I would pull up the DXY, which is a dollar index. And then I would pull up the SXY, which is the Swiss franc index, which we already have open right here. So looking at this right here, you can see that the spike in price was because of the news, right? So if you zoom in a little bit, you can see that the dollar has been strong for a long time now. It's been very strong for a while. Because of this news event right here, this is why this big spike right here happened, right? So looking at these two candles right here, this is a big spike because of the news event that happened this morning. And same situation here with the Swiss franc, right? This is why we took the buy yesterday, because the dollar was strong and the Swiss franc was weak. So looking at this point right here, you can see that generally this was pushing up and this was generally pushing down. The only time it pushed up right now, and the only reason this pushed down, was because of the news that just happened right now at 7. So with the news happening right here, this is what's causing the little spike in price. But overall, the dollar is still strong and the Swiss franc is still weak. So with that said, I would just hang tight to the position. I mean, you're already in so much drawdown right now, you might as well just hang on to it. And if you use proper risk for this trade, you should be perfectly fine. You know, the main key with these trades here is to identify, you know, where the important price points are and stuff like that. So, you know, news is going to happen where news is going to push price up and down. But overall, if you just look at the indexes here, you know, you can see that the dollar is super strong, right? So overall, it's going to correct back up unless like the dollar is just, you know, completely reversing at this point. You also have to keep in mind that it is NFP week. So that's why we have some crazy volatility in the market. And that's why price keeps bouncing back and forth. And you see a lot of reversals and there's a lot of traps that are being set up. Let's see, Roosevelt's asking, where do you find indexes? So the indexes, you have to know the symbol. So if you have the watch list for K2 right here, I have all of the indexes highlighted blue. So I have the index right here, which is the AXY. This is going to be the Aussie index. I have the CXY, the Canadian index. So this is going to show you how strong each currency is. So this is going to be the CXY Canadian index, SXY is the Swiss franc index, EXY is the Euro currency index, BXY is the British pound index, ZXY is the New Zealand dollar index, and DXY is the dollar index. And lastly, the Japanese yen index is going to be JXY. So if you have the watch list here, Roosevelt, which you can get for free on the website, just go on the website, k2trades.com. Click on unlock your free access, and then you can download the watch list from there for free. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that right there. But other than that, guys, there's not really much to say about, you know, these pairs here. All the US pairs, they all spike because of the news. Now we just have to wait to see how price reacts to, you know, post news. So is it going to correct back up to where it was originally, or is it going to continue dropping, right? But overall, looking at the indexes here, just looking at the DXY, you know, if you just focus on the DXY, you know, obviously the spike here happened because of the news, but we'll have to wait and see what happens from that point. Because overall, if you just look at the DXY here, it's been bullish. It's been bullish since March 23rd. So obviously, if you zoom out very far, you can see that the DXY has been, it's been bullish since, I mean, obviously there's retracements. It was bullish back in January, came up, came back down during February. Then late February, it shot all the way back up, consolidated a bit. And then now for March, it's still shooting up from this point. So we'll have to wait and see how the news ends up playing from this point. So we'll see. I mean, if it hits stop loss, it hits stop loss, right? As long as you guys are using proper risk management, you guys should have no problem, because we had we had like other wins this week so far and last week as well. So here, I'll just show you the results for this week so far, guys. So for this week so far, let me go to the results, or for this month actually. So if you guys followed all of my trades for this month, for Forex, we have 14 wins and 3 losses. So if you have another loss, it's not that bad as long as you're using proper risk. So if you're using, a 1 to 3% risk, which we always recommend, then if you have one loss, it's not going to make a big deal because we're already up 14 wins. So for example, here, if you do the math, like 14 times 3, that's going to be a 42% gain there. We have 3 losses. So 3 times 3, it's a 9% gain, a 9% loss there. So for example, if you took every trade for this month, 42% minus 9%, you should still be net positive. And if you lose this trade here for your USDCHF, that's just another minus 3%. You should be in 30% net positive for the month so far. So this is what I always recommend to you guys. Always use proper risk management and don't over leverage. If you guys over leverage and over trade, you're going to blow your account. That's the main key with trading, consistency and using proper risk management for every single trade. Hopefully you guys don't over leverage because, that's probably why you guys are worried about your specific trade, because, there should be no worries for these trades as long as you guys are doing them properly. And then same for the indices right here as well. For example, here we had 22 wins and 5 losses for indices for the month of March. So for example, if you're just taking 22 trades times 3, that'd be a 66% gain, right? With 5 losses, 5 times 3, it's going to be a 15% loss. So if you do the math there, 66 minus 15%, you'd still be at a 51% gain if you took every single, every single indice trade that I called, basically all the US 30 trades. So as long as you guys are using proper risk, the percentages will show you that you guys should be doing perfectly fine. So just make sure that you don't over leverage and that you don't over trade, or else, you're probably going to feel certain trades here and there. Let's see, anyone else here taking trades right now? No, I don't see anything else. All right, cool. So we're good with this right here. Other than that, let me check the chat and see if we're missing anything else before we continue on. Yik's asking, how do you execute an order? I mean, it depends on your platform. You can hit buy or sell up here. I mean, depending on what you're trading, you can always hit buy or sell here. I don't have it connected to my trading view right here because we use MT4 for our US 30. But if you're trading something like Forex, there's buy or sell buttons right here if you're trading on TradingView. Vice versa, if you're trading on MT4, it's going to be a little different. You'll have some buy or sell buttons on there as well. So yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you're trading there. So for example, here, if you're trading on MT4, you'll still have the buy or sell button right there. Vice versa, if you're on TradingView, you have the buy or sell button right there too. So it just depends on what type of order that you're trying to set. But I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just a big buy or sell button right there. Yeah, depending on what platform you're using, obviously you have to, if you could be more specific with what platform you're using, I can answer your question better, but I'm not sure what do you use specifically. All right, let me scroll back up real quick and see what else we got over here before I continue on. Let me check real quick. Let me scroll up. I can see you guys. Yeah, you guys had your own conversation above here. So I'm just scrolling down the chat real quick because you guys had a lot to talk about earlier while I was analyzing the charts. Steven's asking, do we have to close open trades in FTMO since there's news? So you don't have to close open trades, Steven, but you can't open or close trades, I think, 5 minutes before or after big news events. So that's the main thing with trading news on FTMO. Mark's asking, will the US 30 strategy work on a 10-minute time frame along with the K2 pivots? If so, I'll start using it today. Greatly appreciate you, Shawn. Yeah, Mark, definitely. So you can use that. Like you can use the same strategy that we're applying here. This 10-minute strategy. Oh, sorry, let me fix this. You can use this 10-minute strategy on like anything. Hopefully you guys can hop into this trade here, guys, because this is what I was talking about earlier. It's just too risky. This is why we didn't take any trades yet. We're just going to hold off. And then once it starts to move directional, in one direction or the other, then we'll start looking for some scalps. But right now, it's just too risky with all the news this morning. So I'm hoping nobody took this trade here. So I'm just going to take this off real quick, or I mean, I could leave it on. I'll just show you right here. So Mark, this strategy does work on other assets as well, because you mentioned I'm speaking about currencies for the related strategy. So I'll just copy this over real quick, and then I'll show you, you know, another pair that people use it on. For Forex, people use different time frames though, because the 10-minute is too fast for Forex pairs. So like, for example, I think one pair that people like to trade is something like GJ, I believe. So if you're trading GJ right here, I'll show you the same exact strategy that, you know, we just discussed, that same scalp strategy. So for example, right here, I'm just going to go and put the requirements here again. So here are the requirements right here, Mark, and I'll just show you real quick how this works. So, I mean, it's not really that difficult. It's actually really easy. So I'm going to mark these up right here. Let me just finish these. And I'll just show you what entries were available over here. So I'll just mark these up real quick. And there's actually a lot of entries that were available, you know, within this area. All right, Mark. So if you wanted to use this on the 10-minute, the only problem with the 10-minute is that you're probably not going to have enough space to cover the spread, you know, if that becomes the case. So looking at this over here, let me check this real quick. All right, yeah, looking at this here, Mark, I'm just going to delete the zones right here, and I'm going to show you the same strategy works on Forex as well. It's not just like, I know we normally just trade US 30 for these scalps, but this works perfectly fine with Forex pairs as well. So for example, here you're looking at GJ on the 10-minute. You can see that we have a rejection off this pivot and structure right here, right off this green candle. So I'm going to go ahead and rewind this real quick. So the same strategy here, we just confirm a wick rejection off the K2 pivot, a wick rejection off the K2 SR zone. So for this green candle right here, you can see that we have a wick rejection off this orange pivot, also a wick rejection off this structure. And with that said, we just confirm that this wick doesn't touch the candle body, which it doesn't right there, right? So with that said, we enter on the open of the falling candle. The fixed TP stop loss is not going to be 500 pips, obviously for GJ. It would depend. It would vary from asset to asset, right? So like, for example, here, you can place your stop loss probably at the previous swing, which would be somewhere like down here. So we'd probably round that to like 20 pips. So with that said, you have your TP stop loss set. You let the trade run, it pushes up in profit, and then straight to TP right there, right? Or actually, this would have, your entry would have been right here, because you'd enter on the open of the falling candle, which would be up here. So with that said, if you let this run completely further, looks like it hits TP right there, right? So the same strategy works on Forex as well. It's not just for US 30. And looking over here, there's a bunch of other entries, right? Another one right here for this green candle, another one right here for this red candle. There's a lot of entries that you could have taken using this one strategy. And you don't necessarily have to use it for US 30. You can use it for Forex as well. So for example, here, looking at this green candle, we have a wick rejection off the pivot, this green pivot here, a wick rejection off the structure as well. And with that said, you enter a long position right there. You know, you put your TP stop loss at the swing, which would be somewhere around here, probably around that to like maybe 30 if you wanted to. I mean, it just really depends. You know, it's going to be case by case, depending on where you want to put your TP stop loss, depending on your risk as well. If it's too wide, then it's too wide. If it's, you know, if you want to make it tighter, you can do like 25 instead, or even 20 if that becomes the case. So for example, here, if you were to take that trade, you let it run, it ends up hitting full TP right here as well, right? So you can use the same strategy for Forex, or you can use it for indices as well. It just really depends on what you plan on applying it to, Mark. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. Let me see if there's anything else as we continue. This right here. Yeah, see, you guys see that? This dude is so freaking bored. He always comes in here to troll. Here he is back again. Freaking beat you, man. See, already, I'm telling you, bro, like, he's not getting to me. He's just annoying. And it's funny because he was a K2 member before, but he was just really annoying. So like, he just likes to pick on people. Like, he's a bully. He wants to go and pick on people in the group that don't know how to trade. And that's why like everyone like made him leave. Like, they pretty much left him out. And then now he tries to just troll in this group here, just like he was doing before. but it's whatever, man. Dude's a loser. So all you can do is come here and pretty much troll us here, right? There's nothing else to do. But it's all good, guys. I mean, we're not gonna let him bother us. This dude's just annoying. Like, I keep banning him and this dude keeps coming back. That's how bored he is. He just wants to keep coming back and trolling us when, like, dude, we already banned him how many times? But here he is, keeps coming back in. But yeah, anyways, back to what I was saying, Mark. This strategy works for everything. It's not just for US 30. You can use it also for currencies if you wanted to. But I think you'd probably be better using it on a higher time frame, because the 10 minutes it's too tight for these currency pairs, especially if your TP stop loss is just, you know, too tight, because you have to cover the spread too. For example, here, so if you're trying to catch this trade for 20 pips and your spread is 6 pips, you got to cover like a 12 pip spread before you get in and out of a trade. So in reality, you're not making 20 pips. You're only making like about 8 pips or so, or I mean like 10 pips maybe, if the spread is a little tighter. So yeah, other than that, let me move on to the other questions over here, and then we'll continue on with this. Other than that, let me see. Yeah, we already did. Yeah, like I permanently banned that dude Pikachu, but he just keeps coming in with a different username because he's that bored, bro. Like, you know, people are that bored. Like, if you're really trading, you wouldn't have time to be trolling people. You'd be trading right now because it's a New York session. But I mean, it's whatever, dude. He's just, that dude has nothing else to do, so he just comes in here and bothers us. But it's all good. All right, so let me go back up real quick and check the other questions here. Here, let me scroll down real quick. EX said, I noticed that you don't have any of the indicators on your chart that you demonstrate on the K2 version 1 through 3 video. Has the strategy changed? Are you using different? These are totally different strategies, yeah. So this is the K2 snipe strategy. The strategy you're referring to is the K2 intraday strategy. That one's totally different from these. So that's why these indicators are different. If you're using the 10-minute scalp, then you're only using the K2 pivot and K2 SR indicator. If you're using Josh's 3-minute strategy, you're only using the momentum indicator and the pivots indicator. We don't use the zones. So each of these strategies are a little different. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for, because everything kind of intertwines with each other. But depending on what strategy you're applying, you know, there's obviously different things that you're going to, you know, be focused on. Yeah, exactly what Peter said. Like, if you guys see the chat right here, like that's exactly what Peter. That's exactly what I was just referring to as well. Putty, if you want to sign up, just go on the website, k2trades.com right here. Just go on the website, k2trades.com. If you want access to the Zoom link where you have the, you know, the Zoom real time, and you can copy my trades as I take them in like high quality 1080p, you can click on K2 premium signals right here. If you want to learn the strategy and actually have these indicators on your chart to do everything on your own and pretty much, you know, lock in the same profits that that everyone else is locking in over here. Like Billy over here, he took all these trades on his own. I didn't call any GJ trades. So he took all these trades on his own. Same with Spencer. He took this EJ, US 30, NU, pretty much all these trades he took on his own. If you want to learn it, then just go on the website and click on K2 strategy course right here. So that's how you would get access to either one. If you click on K2 strategy course, that includes the access to the premium groups and the signals as well. So it's pretty much just a bundle of everything. But yeah, other than that, let's see. Let me scroll back up real quick and then make sure I'm not missing anything else. Over here real quick. Let me scroll up. Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah. So yeah, the K2 scalping strategy, there's different strategies. So for example, here, let me just pull up the course real quick so that you guys can see what I'm talking about, because Yik is kind of confused with what we're referring to here. So here's the here's what the course looks like. So when you guys sign up to K2, this is what the course looks like. Yik over here is referring to the other scalping strategy. So Yeah, looking at this here, if you're looking at the snipe strategy, that's going to be the 10-minute snipe strategy right here. So if this is what you were looking like, if this is what you're looking for, this specific strategy, that would be this first one right here. The pivot strategy is totally different, and the original strategy is also different as well. So these are all different strategies here. Yeah. So depending on what you're trying to apply, you just you'd cater your focus on that specific strategy. This strategy hasn't been covered yet. Josh's 3-minute strategy. For this one, if you want to learn that one, me and Josh had a mentoring session last week, I believe. So if you go on the K2 YouTube page, just click on videos, and then you can see right here, it says Josh 3-minute strategy, right? This isn't my strategy, so I don't know it exactly, like how I know everything else. But if you want to learn this strategy right here, you can just go to the YouTube channel. And then on, so 5 days ago on March 24th, there's a video here titled Josh 3-minute strategy. And you guys can cover this strategy right here on that channel. Basically what his strategy does is he waits for these momentum signals to like break and close past the pivots. Once it does, he enters like a long position here. And then his TP stop loss, it's a different risk to reward, but the win rate on this strategy is pretty high. So that's why he can do a 1 to 2. So that's how he would apply the strategy here. So if you want to learn that one, that's where you would learn that strategy right here. And these are pretty much, this is what the course looks like, guys. So if you guys sign up to any K2 package, whether it's the free one, the signals, or the strategies, you'll have access to everything right here. And this is what the course looks like. You can see we have a ton of videos here explaining how everything's done in detail. So other than that, that's pretty much it. Let me keep going down the questions real quick and see if there's anything else that I can answer before we continue on. So we have, so I answered Steven's question already. Marcus is asking, Shawn, do gold have .cash on the side of it? Let me check real quick. I don't trade gold on FTMO, but let me pull it up for you. So Steven, and this is a different Steven. This is, or no, this is Marcus actually, my bad, Marcus. Yeah, for gold on, so I'm trying to find it out here. Gold on FTMO is going to be under Forex, or actually, let me see. No, it's under Forex. It's going to be under metals, and it doesn't have a .cash after. It's just XAU USD. So yeah, I just pulled it up for you right now. So that's what it would look like on there. Other than that, let's see. Yeah, other than that, let me just scroll up real quick. See, the next question was from Jasmine. Jasmine's asking, I think I should close USDCHF. I mean, it's up to you guys if you guys want to close it. I mean, you guys are already in some drawdown, so I mean, there's really no point unless you guys, really don't feel comfortable about it. But as you can see right here, USDCHF is starting to swing back up, right? So it's correcting back after that news. So if you guys want to close out of it, I mean, feel free. But like I mentioned before, that drop right there was due to the news. So I would just hang on to it. You're already in like heavy enough drawdown. So, what's the risk in just holding on to it? So I'm holding on to mine. So it just depends on what you want to do with it, Jasmine. But I personally am going to hold on to mine. Jasmine said, good morning. By the way, we don't like trolls. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Man, this dude's so dumb, dude. Accept this challenge. This dude wants to Pokemon battle me. This dude ate too many crayons when he was a kid, man. This dude, man. Whatever. It's all good. Let me keep going through the questions here real quick. So let's see. Steven said, we just need a good scalp to recover. Yeah, exactly, Steven. A good scalp will just cover that trade easily. But, like I was mentioning before, it's just price is just going to keep bouncing around. So until it finds a direction, I'm not going to hop into anything yet for US 30. I'm going to wait for it to actually move one direction or the other. And then once it does move, then I will start looking for something here. So I'll just clean it up so that we can follow it since we're not in that trade anyways. And then we'll take them as we see them. All right, other than that, let me see if there's anything else here. YBGMJ is asking, isn't SPX alike? It is most of the time. YBGM, or I'll just call you Jay. Yeah, Jay. So most of the time, SPX and US 30 move similar, but they don't always do. So for example, here, I'll pull up US 30 for you over here, and then I'll pull up S&P. So if you look at it on the shorter time frames, see, as you can see right here, S&P is super bullish, right? Or no, sorry, let me just move down to like the 10-minute. All right. So yeah, check this out right here, Jay. So looking at the US 30 right here, side by side with S&P, they don't really move exactly the same, right? So US 30 right here dumped heavy, right? While this dumped heavy, S&P was shooting up. They were shooting the other direction. So that's why I never tell you guys to copy the trades. Like if I'm calling a US 30 trade, I never recommend you guys take it on S&P because it's not always going to move in the same direction. Obviously, you can see right here, it's pretty clear that it's not moving in the same direction, right? Most of the time it does. Like sometimes right here, it just moves the same direction, but right here, completely different. The reason for that is because the US 30 is a compilation of, the top 30 US, the top 30 US stocks. For S&P, it's like the top 500. So if something's crashing on the US 30, you're going to feel it. Or if something's pushing up on US 30, you're going to feel it. For the S&P, there's going to be so many stocks there that will balance out if there's like one bad stock that's performing. So it's not necessarily the same exact movement. It's just most of the time it is, but in some instances it's not. So like for example here, I wouldn't be trading the same thing for US 30 that I'd be doing for S&P because S&P is bullish while US 30 right here is still dropping. So just keep that in mind. If that's what you are looking at. Because said dude ate too much lead paint. That was a good one, Pico. I haven't heard that one before. But it's funny because everyone has something funny to say about him. But I don't care, guys. It's whatever. I'm here to help you guys out. So I'm here to answer your guys' questions, provide analysis and all that. While people will just continue to troll. It's no biggie. It's whatever. Some people just don't got anything else to look forward to. So they have fun trolling people, and that's their way of fun. Let's see what else we got over here. Yeah, Mark just sent his profits over. So damn, Ed too. So nice work, Ed. So Ed just sent me his profits right now as well. So as you guys can see here, I'm not taking any trades, but if you guys have the actual strategy yourself, you guys can kill it yourself. Like Ed over here, this dude made a ton of profit today. He had one loss right here, but then he has all these wins, right? So Ed, you're up pretty heavy. Is this for the week? I'm assuming this is the week, right? So Ed made 7,000. He lost 800, lost 2,000, made 500, made 2,400 back, 3,200 right here, and then another 3,000 right here. So nice work, Ed, with those profits. You're killing it, dude. Same with Mark over here. Mark's taking his own trades here for US 30. Even though I'm not taking them, he's taking these riskier trades, and he made 2,000 for the day. So as you can see here, guys, like people in K2 are still making profit, even though I'm not calling trades. The main key here is if you guys are consistent and you guys learn the strategy so that you guys can apply it yourself, even on, days where, we're being a little more cautious, like today. Like I'm not messing with anything today because this is like, it's just too risky for us at this point. So as you guys can see, if you want to be risky, you guys can, because there's still profits to be made here with Ed, Mark, Billy. So you guys can see these are different people. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like 8 people this morning are making profit and they're trading on their own. So if you guys want to learn it, you guys can. But like I was mentioning, it's it's just too risky right now. It's not something that I necessarily want to take. So I'm gonna wait for it. I'm gonna wait for US 30 to either go one way or the other, and then once it goes in that direction, I'll start scalping that direction. But right now, price is just pretty much going sideways from this point. So if I pull up US 30 over here on a different chart, and then we go on that 10-minute, and then I just draw market structure within like one area. So let's see. Yeah, so I mean the main thing right here is price is just bouncing within this area over here. So there's like a high right here, and then there's a low right here. So that's pretty much the main area where it's ranging from right here. And if you want to go even closer, you guys can see that now price is currently within this area right here because it's failing to break above it. And then even with that, there's another zone down here. So if I turn this off right here, You guys can see that price is just pretty much going sideways between these two zones right here. So that's pretty much it. And that's pretty much, you know, what we're waiting for. We're just waiting for an actual move to happen before we take this trade. So other than that, guys, let me go back to the chat, see what else I missed over here. Let me scroll up real quick. Yeah, Steven said, I'm gonna follow Shawn's recommendation and I'll take it. Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with it right now at all. It's gonna be hanging on for a bit. Oh, nice. Yeah, Jalon said still bang with the OG cloud strat. Yeah, no, definitely. That strategy still works, Jalon. Especially if you got it down, it still works pretty fine. Yeah, Hassan said, yeah, I'm still in NU. It hit TP in the middle of the night. Yeah, no, me too. I'm still in it as well. Hassan, unfortunately, it hit while I was asleep. So I'll pull up NZD USD. I think that's the next question anyways, right? Yeah, so the next question is NZD USD right over here. So yeah, I'll analyze this for you guys right here. So let's see, we got the 4-hour chart right here. I'm going to zoom out from this point. So here's how I analyze, you know, NZD USD. So basically, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw up the K2 SR zone. So for example, right here, we have this zone right here. We have this one right here. Even though these zones are irrelevant because they're so far from current price, I'm going to draw them anyways so that you guys can see exactly, you know, what the market structure looked like prior. So this is going to be market structure for NZD USD. Next up, we're going to go on the higher time frames to identify the lower zones over here. Let's see. Yeah, we got another zone right here. I guess it's just one big zone at this point. You know, I should probably just delete this one and I'll just connect this one down here. All right. And then the next zone is going to be down here. All right. So going back to the 4-hour right here, this is pretty much what it looks like. So looking at this here, Hassan, see, you can see price is, I mean, attempted to break above this structure right here. But what happened was, so like you mentioned, it hit TP1 right here, but we were asleep, right? I mean, most of us weren't awake at that time. Price came up, came down, hit TP1 right here, and then it shot back up. The reason for the shoot up right here is because of the news this morning. So because of the news this morning, it ended up spiking, you know, in this direction. And then, you know, this ended up, it looks like it's gonna come right back down. So I'm going to turn on the momentum indicator to identify our bias right here. Obviously, this is an invalid buy signal, but before this signal right here, there was a sell signal right here, right? So this is what made us want to enter the sell in the first. So we saw this here. It went straight to P1 and then it shot up because of the news. Currently, I think I'm going to reject off this point and it's going to continue to drop down even further. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens, Hassan. I think this is going to come down because, you know, obviously this was a bullish move because of the news this morning. Obviously, you can see right here, there's a red dot, right? So there's a ton of news that happened this morning for the US dollar. You know, national employment data right here, also the housing data here that was bad for the US dollar. It obviously caused price to spike up. However, now price is correcting back down and it looks like it's going to come down to where it originally was. So that's pretty much my analysis for USD. I know we're in the sell right here. So what I recommend is just to hang tight. Same with USDCHF, you know, just hang tight and let it play out. And it, you know, you're already in some drawdown anyway, so you might as well just hang on to it. And then once it comes down to TP1, you can move your stop loss and profit to guarantee some profits and just hang on for the rest of the ride. So other than that, that's it for NZD USD. I'm gonna scroll down the chat real quick and see if there's anything else that I'm missing as we, you know, as we continue. All right, let me scroll up real quick. Let's see. Yeah, I just saw your message, Hassan. Dave's also mentioning, Dave said, you're using K2 SR and K2 SR both at the same time or just one or two when marking up the charts? So Dave, I don't use the version 1 anymore. I just use the version 2. So I use K2 SR version 2. I draw up my zones. And then once I draw my zones, I take it off the chart since I have my zones drawn over them already. So looking at this here, if I show you my charts over here, I turn off the momentum indicator and I turn on the K2 SR. If I hide this here, you can see that the zones are on the chart. I just draw my zones right over them. And I use version 2. I don't use a version 1 anymore because the version 1 only gives you the closest support resistance. It doesn't give you all of them. So that's pretty much it for that there. Other than that, that's it for NZUSD. Looks like it's coming back down in a profit. So you guys should be fine if you guys are still in this trade. And same with the USDCHF as well. USDCHF is swinging right back up as well. So don't worry too much about it, guys. Just, what it's supposed to do. All that push was because of the news. So that's not something that we could have controlled. It just, it happens because it happens. Let's see. Other than that, let me see what I got over here. Hugo wants me to take a look at HK50. So Hugo, HK50. What's HK50? Is that the or I'll pull it up over here real quick. Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. HK50. It's the cash, cash CFD. All right, Hugo. So here's I'm not sure how you want me to analyze this because I've never looked at there before. So I'll just show you guys that, the same analysis that I do for everything else, it works for other pairs as well. So looking at this here, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. So here's the naked chart. I've never looked at HK50 before, so I don't even know what this is. But I'll zoom out from this point, and here's a naked chart. First thing I do is I identify market structure. So I'll turn on the K2 SR indicator right here. I'll draw my zones right here. So Hugo, if you can give me a little more insight on like what this asset is. I've never seen it before. He's ever asked for it, so I'm not familiar with it, but I'm curious to know, what this is specifically. But I will do my analysis for you, and I'll show you what I think, once I'm done drawing everything up. All right, cool. Yeah, 1 second, guys. I had to send a text message real quick. I forgot I'm supposed to pick up my car today. I'm getting my Tesla re-wrapped. So let's see. What time will my car be ready for pickup today? So once I pick up my car, guys, I'll show you guys, I'll take new videos of the car. So if you guys are familiar with my Tesla, I had it wrapped in Profit Blue Chrome. I'm getting it in a brighter chrome because that chrome just wasn't bright enough for me, right? So if you guys have seen my Tesla before, this is what my Tesla looks like. Let me just mute my thing real quick. This is what it looked like before. So it was like this Profit Blue Chrome. I got it rewrapped like a brighter blue. So we'll see how it comes out. Because this was kind of a blue, but I was looking for like more of a darker bright blue where it was like a mirror. So I'll show you guys today once I pick up my car, what it looks like at that point. But yeah, I forgot I was supposed to pick up today. So I just messaged the shop to see when that would be ready. But anyways, going back to HK50 over here. Let me see this over here real quick. We got this right here. This is just one big zone, I think. Yeah, because this connects down to here. It overlaps with this one right here. And then on top of that, it covers this one over here as well. So other than that, oh, the Hong Kong dollar. Okay. So I'm assuming that's a Hong Kong dollar then, right? Yeah. So looking at this here, I'm assuming this is an indice as well. So I might have to do this on a shorter time frame. But just looking at this here, it looks like, obviously it's bearish right here, right? Looking at HK50. I'm gonna turn on the momentum indicator. So obviously right here we have a bearish bias. So we got a bearish bias right here. And I need to grab the lower zone. So let me just go on the higher time frame. Grab the lower zone right here because it's always safe to have a floor and a ceiling. You guys should always identify where the floor and the ceiling is so that you know exactly where to trade and where not to trade. So anyways, going back to here, I'm gonna go back to the 4 hour. So looking at this right here, this looks like check that real quick again. Yeah, so we have a sell signal right here for obviously a sell bias. And yeah, looking at this here, we want price to come back down here and close below the structure. So in order for us to take a sell here, we would want this to, oh, Ed said HK for 10 minutes. All right, so I'm not going to analyze this from the bigger standpoint because I guess it's an indice, right? So I'm assuming you wanted this for a scalp. So looking at this here, Ed said that sweet spot for HK is going to be 10 minutes. For the 10 minutes is going to be 1,000 pips. So looking at this here, if you guys are familiar, you know, obviously the same strategy that we've been applying here. I'm just trying to see if there was any entries here that were available that, you know, you could have taken. I don't really see much available here. Do you trade this, Ed? I'm assuming you trade this because you're familiar with it. So yeah, I'm just going to draw a zone because it looks like there's like one entry that is right here. So looking at current price right now for the HK, I don't really see anything happening, you know, currently. But if you were using the same snipe strategy that we're applying, looks like there was one entry that was available right here. So this like small little candle right here, you can see that there's a rejection off the pivot. I mean, there's a rejection off the K2 pivot and off the K2 structure right here. So with that said, if you were to take this trade here, you enter a short position right here. And like what Ed said, he said 1,000 pips is going to be the sweet spot. You know, I'm assuming it's probably like 10,000, right? You add a zero to it. Yeah, it'd be 1,000 pip TP stop loss right there. If you were to run this trade on here and you let it run, looks like it, yeah, go straight to TP right there. So depending on how you trade this, I forget who asked for this. Let me check real quick. Yeah, Hugo, depending on how you trade this, you know, looking on the 10-minute right here, I just don't see any entries at this point. You know, if we have a rejection off a pivot and structure, so for example, we have a support right here. This one right here. This one right here. And this zone down here. I mean, but other than that, we don't really have any other entry points that are available. I'm assuming this is something that you trade, Ed, so you might be more familiar with it. I remember we talked about this before. I think you actually mentioned this to me a long time ago. You were like, hey, does this work on this? And I was like, I'm pretty sure it does, but I've never traded it myself. Yeah, Ed said HK is not really worth it. The spread's too high personally. Yeah, spread's like, it seems like it's very high here. So just looking at this here, Hugo, you know, if this is what you like to trade, you can apply the same strategy here. There's just no entry that's available. What I would look for is I'd wait for price to come down, reject off the pivot right here. And then with that said, you can take a buy and then ride it on up from there for a long position, right? That's pretty much what I would do. But currently right now, there's just not much volatility. Just like what Peter said, he mentioned that indices are moving so slow right now. And I agree. It's just, you know, it's not really moving all that much. So if you guys copied the, let's see, I think, is that trade still running? So the trade that we looked at earlier, guys, I think it was, I can't remember where it was. It was that sell that we were looking, oh, it was right here. So if you guys took the sell that, you know, we were looking at earlier right here, it's still running. But like I mentioned, it was an at your risk trade, so I didn't even take it myself. I didn't even want to bother taking it. It went into some heavy drawdown, and then it came right back down in profit. Right now, it's currently in profit. The main problem with this right here is that, like I mentioned, we want price to go in one direction. Currently, right now, it's just bouncing back and forth. So with it going back and forth, you know, it's just going to be a risky time for us to really enter any of these trades specifically. So I wouldn't really mess with any of the indices right now. I would wait for it to have a big move up or a big move down, and then I would catch it as it swings. Nice. So Kel East Coast said, she said closed in profit on US 30. Nice work, Kel. The trade is just risky. You know, that's why I mentioned when I saw it, I was like, this is too risky of a trade. I'm not going to take it. But if you guys did take it, it looks like you're currently, or you would have made some profit at that point. Because here it is right here again. I'm just going to put it back on. See, this thing went in some heavy drawdown before it came right back down. And I don't like trading like this when price is just too choppy. I like trading when price is moving really smooth. Like for example, over here, if I just delete this stuff, or I'll delete it up there. Like for example, when price is moving smooth like this right here, or I mean, yeah, I guess this would be a smooth move right here, right? If it was moving smooth like this right here, then these would be like some easy entries for you to take, not have to worry about. But right here, this is just too choppy. Like for example, if you took any of these trades over here, like these sells in this area, these are like smooth moves straight to TP. There's not really too much for us to really worry about here because it's a smooth move down, right? Generally, what you can do is you can even turn off the candles and you can see these pivots smooth move down right here, right? So you can take sells right here and not have to worry about it. Vice versa over here, price is a smooth move up right here. If I turn off the candles, smooth move up, right? Smooth move up, retracement, smooth move up. So with that said, you could take snipes over here for some buys if you really wanted to. Yeah, if you really wanted to, you could have taken these buys right here as well. I didn't take them, but if you guys did take them yourself, you could have made. Steven said I made 5 cents. Man, Steven, you're cracking me up, dude. You're funny. Like yesterday, I forgot Steven was he posted his profits. Where did you post your profits, Steven? He was like every penny counts. And Steven made. What did you make yesterday, Steven? He was just messing with us though. He was like he made a penny off a US 30. And then he made 18 cents or 21 cents. And he was like, every penny counts. And everyone's cracking up. But yeah, profits, Steven. So even if you made 5 cents, just keep stacking up those pennies until you can make them into dollars and then make those dollars into hundreds and make those hundreds into thousands like everyone else. Because guys, it doesn't matter if you have a big account or a small account. You can have a small account and still make some pretty decent profit. Like, obviously Ed here has a bigger account. He's probably on FTMO or funding talent. That's why he's able to make like 10K. Mark here has a big account as well. I think he's on funding talent too. He can make like 2K, right? But there's other people here who make normal profits too. Like Monster over here, he made about like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 50 euros right here. And he's trading on a smaller account. Same with, let me see if there's anyone else here. Like Kirsten here. Kirsten is trading on a small account. She's using the K2 strategies on Forex and she's making like 39 bucks, Once she gets consistent and she adds up, then, this 39 bucks could turn into 390 bucks. That 390 bucks could turn into 3,000 bucks. It's a growth process, guys. It's not something where you just, here's Ed's profits right here. Nice. So Ed right here, he's up 13,000 for the day. He's trading gold in US 30. So as you guys can see, you guys don't have to just trade US 30, right? This is Ed. So you can see Ed, he's in the chat right now. He's chatting. He's been a K2 member for a long time now. Like Ed's one of my good friends here in K2, just like everyone else here. And this dude, he kills it. Look at this. Dude's up 13,000 for the day, guys. So it doesn't matter if you have a big account, small account. I mean, it doesn't really matter, guys. As long as you guys are profiting, that's all that really matters here, right? And it doesn't even matter if I'm not profiting. Like if everyone else here is profiting, that's cool because I'm here to help you guys out. I'm not necessarily here to show off my trades because I'm obviously not taking these trades myself right now because I'm not comfortable with the market conditions. And you guys know how I trade. I'm a very careful trader. So I only like taking trades that I know are going to win. And if I don't think they're going to win, then I'm not going to, hop into anything that's too risky because I just don't like losing trades, guys. I prefer to have a high win streak or a high win rate. And that's why I'm really selective with what I'm taking. So if this ends up dropping right here, this is cool. If this ends up dropping, I'm going to wait for it to come back up. I'm going to let it drop a bit, let it come back up. And then as it comes back down, that's where I'm going to take my sells over here, right, within this area. Because then at that point, I'll be convinced that price is actually moving directional and it's not just bouncing around. So great work amongst everyone here. Whoever's making profit, obviously I'm not trading on my own account right now. So I'm just chilling for the most part, answering questions. And we do have a lot of questions here. So let me keep going down the list so I don't get sidetracked. Here, let me scroll up real quick. Let's see. So other than that, Yik said, is TradingView a broker as well? Do they connect your broker? How do you execute orders on there? Yeah, so if you're using a supported broker, Yik, so I mean, your broker is going to depend on, like if you click on the trading panel right here, like I mentioned earlier, if you click on broker page, these are all the brokers that are supported by TradingView. So for my Forex trades, I do use TradingView. So that's how I execute trades directly on the platform. I use forex.com. If you want to trade indices, you can use TradeStation right here. This is one of the ones that people use. I personally don't use it because FTMO doesn't support TradeStation. So that's why I use TradeStation, or you can use Tradeovate. So these are all different brokers that you can use. Yik, it just depends on what you're trying to trade. If you want to trade futures, Tradeovate and Global works. If you want currencies, Oanda, Iron Beam, if you want options and futures. So these are all the different brokers here. And there's actually more brokers that are available. These are the only ones that you can see, currently. So that's how you would choose your broker if you want to trade directly on TradingView, which, would be ideal. But if I'm trading with FTMO, I have to trade off MT4 while I do my charting on TradingView. All right, let me scroll down a little bit. Let me scroll down a little farther. So Putty, I think I answered your question earlier, but if you missed it, if you want to sign on to K2 and have access to the indicators, just go to the website k2trades.com right here, click on K2 strategy course, and that's how you'll get access to all of the K2 indicators right here to apply all the strategies that we're covering. Here, let me see real quick. Cheryl, so going back to your question, because it looks like you missed my question or my response earlier. For the K2 strategies, like the different snipe strategies, there's different strategies to apply. So depending on what you're applying, so this is what the K2 course looks like. If you sign up to the K2 strategy course, this is what it looks like. Everything's broken down here, depending on what strategy you want to apply. All the indicators are broken down here. And then as you scroll down further, you'll see that we have the intraday strategy. This is the original strategy. We have the momentum pullback strategy, the scalping strategies right here. I think this is what you're referring to. If you're wondering which strategy we're applying right here, the snipe strategy, that would be under this module right here. And then if you want to look at the pivot strategy, this is a completely different strategy. And there's also the original scalp strategy as well right here. So depending on what you want to apply, they all work. It just depends on, what fits your criteria. But this is the K2 snipe strategy is the one that everyone's been using here in K2 lately. That's pretty much, all the profits that majority of people have been posting. That's the strategy that they're applying. So if you want to learn that, that's going to be the one that you want to focus on as we go on. So let me scroll up real quick again and see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Let me scroll up real quick. Another question here is from all right, perfect. So Cheryl's asking, based on your experience, does the sniping strategy on US 30 work best for the New York sessions or other less volatile sessions such as Asia and London session? So me personally, I think it works best during New York session, Cheryl, but I've seen other people lock in a lot of profits during Asia session as well. So like, just looking at this strategy here, if I go over here to, so this is New York session. Let's see. I'm going to see if I could find some entries for you. So this is Asia session right here, right? So Asia session right here, there's still entries that are available right here as well. So if you wanted to take this trade during Asia session, there's still sell entries that are available here if you wanted to take some, and they still hit TP, right? So this is an Asia session example for you. Obviously, there's probably going to be less entries during Asia session, but it does work during all sessions. So you don't have to trade during New York session. It's just me personally. I like trading during New York session because there's a lot of volatility during this time. Sometimes it's bad volatility like this and we don't take trades. But for example, if you're trading London session, this is a London entry right here as well. So you can see from this red candle right here, it's rejecting off this pivot. This is at 12:30 my time, which is I think about 6:30 a.m. London session. So if you wanted to take this trade here, this would hit TP here as well, right? So this is a London session entry here. There's the Asia session entry that's over there as well that I marked up somewhere around this area. Where was it at? Sorry, I can't find it. Oh, right here. So right here, these are some Asia session entries, 1650, which is going to be, I don't know what time is that for you in London, but this would be the entry here during Asia session. So that'd be a full TP right there. It still works. It's just, you're going to find less entries during Asia. And I'd say London versus US, but you can use it for all sessions depending on what you want to apply it to. So as you guys can see here, US 30 is still moving sideways, right? So price pretty much broke into this area and it's just been going sideways ever since. If I go back to US 30 over here, and this is why we're not entering these trades, guys, right? Because there's just too much uncertainty in the market. So if you look at this here, price is literally just going between these two areas right here. So there's really no point in us taking the risk to enter these trades because there's nothing for us to really look at until, you know, price breaks above here or price breaks below here, right? So those are the two different scenarios that can play out. Once it breaks above here, we can start looking for some buy scalps. If price breaks below here, we can start looking for some sell scalps. But at this time, price is literally just going sideways in between this zone right here. So until it breaks above or below, then we'll start looking for some buys or sells. But if not, you know, this is pretty much all that we'll be looking for at this time for price to basically smoothen out so that we can start taking some actual trades off of US 30. Let me go up real quick. So I'm trying to get through all of these questions here. Hey, morning, Dwayne. I just saw your message right now. Let me scroll down real quick. All right, let me just, I just saw your message earlier again, Biko, about the lead paint. Let me just scroll down further. I just want to make sure I get everyone's questions before I continue on further. So Manifest wants me to take a look at AUD/USD. So I'll pull up AUD/USD for you guys real quick. Let me just go over this chart and I'll analyze it from scratch so that you guys can see exactly how I analyze things. So if you guys want to learn how to analyze charts exactly how I do and everyone else here in K2, you guys can. It's completely available to you guys. It's just up to you guys whether you guys want to take the opportunity or not. You guys don't have to learn how to trade how we do here, but obviously what we've been doing has been working for over the past 4 or 5 years now. We just apply the same strategies over and over again in the same analysis. So if you guys want to learn this, you guys can. But I'll break it down for you here. So here's a naked chart. I'm going to zoom out from this point. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to identify market structure, turning on the K2 SR indicator. So with this said, I'm going to go ahead and draw my zones from this point. Let's see, we got a zone up here. We got a zone right here. We got a zone right here. We got another zone right here. Let's see, this zone right here overlaps with this one right here. This right there. And then lastly, we got these two zones right here. All right, so once you draw these zones up, you guys can identify market structure. So with that said, we turn off the K2 SR indicator. And we have some perfectly drawn zones, right? So basically you can see price broke into the structure, went sideways, came down, came up, came down from this point, bounced around a bit. And from here, you can see that price is now currently within. So we can probably cut this up into two different market structures here because price kind of bounced around from this point. So like, for example, here, price broke into this area here. Well, we could do this right here. So price broke into the structure right here. It came down. Once it came down to here, it started to bounce around a bit within this area right here. So bounce around a bit from there. Now this is probably what's important because price is below the structure right here. And it's, obviously it's bearish right here because price is coming down from this point, right? So with that said, we probably have a bearish bias here. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to turn on the momentum indicator to identify the bias. So looking at this here, we have an invalid buy signal right here. So it's an invalid momentum buy signal. With that said, we have a nice rejection off this point right here, which could be followed by a sell signal. So with that said, with this nice rejection right here, what I'd be looking for, Manifest, is I'd be looking for price to break below here. And then once it breaks below here and closes, that's where I would take this sell for a short position. Currently right now, Obviously, you can see prices projecting off this point. This next candle closes in about an hour and 14 minutes. So it's got some time to go. But obviously, this bullish move over here happened because of the news earlier. You know, like I said, it was a spike up and then now it came back down. And with that said, it's going to correct back down with the US dollar being strong. So with the US dollar being strong overall, you can expect this to drop to here. And once it closes below here, that's where you can enter your sell, right? Because as you can see over here, let me see if we go back to the last time it broke below that zone. So here's the same zone that I just drew for you right now. You can see that the last time it broke below right here, it dropped, right? So from there it broke below and it dropped. You turn on the momentum indicator. See, you had a sell signal from up here. So the sell momentum started from there. We waited for the confirmation for it to break and close below the structure. If you took that sell right there, that'd be a huge profit if you wrote it all the way down. It's a big draw for about like 250 pips basically. If you took it all the way to the bottom. If not, and you took a smaller move, you could still make about 100 pips right there as well. So looking at this setup right here, this is the same setup that I have coming over here as well. We're just waiting for that sell signal. And we're waiting for it to close below here. So if it ends up closing below here, this would be my bias. I'd be looking for a sell entry off this point. And that's pretty much what we'd be looking for AUD USD. But yeah, guys, you know, pretty much all of this right here, if you guys want to learn this and learn how to analyze everything how I do, same as everyone else in K2, just go on the K2 website and then you can learn everything there. Like if you want to learn everything for free, you can unlock the free access right here. If you want to have access to the indicators, you can click on this, but it's completely free if you guys want to come and just learn what we're doing here. Or if you guys just want to sit in on these live sessions, you guys can learn doing that as well. I mean, it's really up to you guys. You know, the opportunity is there. It's just up to you guys whether you guys want to take that opportunity or not. But all right, so that's it for that right there. Let me scroll up a little bit and see if there's anything that I missed as we continue on. Here, let me check this real quick. So that's it for that question right there. Scroll down a little bit. Gotcha. Yeah. So Kel took the other, well, she took the trade, but she had a bias that she entered at US 30 as well. Steven's asking, Shawn, do you know any traders that double their money every month? I mean, yeah, see like what Yick said right here. He said, Steven, that's an unrealistic goal as far as consistency goes. I mean, there's people that, I'm sure there's people that do double their account every month, but you know, it doesn't happen very often. I mean, you'll make profit, like consistent profit, but I mean, doubling your account every single month, you're basically like, that's gambling, right? Because you're not supposed to double your account. I mean, you can if you have a really hot month, but it doesn't happen all the time. And in order to double your account, you have to take on a lot of risk. So if you're using a proper risk, like say, for example, like a conservative month for us, right? Like this month, let's see if I scroll up a little bit for our results. Like, even though we had a pretty decent month for March, like, you know, looking at our indice trades over here, if we're doing, let's see, 22 wins times 3, that's a 66% gain, right? We had 5 losses times 3, so that's a 15% loss. So our total net positive gain for this month would have been, let's see, 66 divided by, or no, 66 minus 15. It'd still be a 51% gain. In order to double that account, you'd have to be at 100, right? So you can see how difficult that is. In order to do that, you need to take big risk. Like you'd probably have to take like a 5 to 10% risk per trade. So for example, if you take 22 wins times, I don't know, 5% risk, that's like 110 right there. If that was the case, and then you have 5 times 10 as well, or 5 times 5, that's 25 net loss. So if you do 110 divided, or 110 minus 25, you're still going to be below that doubling your account. You'll see you'll have an 85% gain, but it's not going to double your account. So as you can see, it's not as easy as you think, you know, to just double your account if you're using proper risk. If you use huge risk, then yeah, you can easily do it, but the odds of you blowing your account are going to be very high as well. So we never recommend that you do that. You know, it's not all about making huge profits. It's about consistency and like lasting in this game. Because a lot of people don't last very long. Let's see, CT sent me his profits. CT said too whippy today. So here's another K2 member. CT made 1,394. He took a scalp for a sell for US 30, made 796, and then he took a buy just now, where he made 598. So as you guys can see, I'm not calling trades right now, but if you guys know the strategy and you guys can apply it yourself, CT actually created this strategy, the 15-minute one. So this CT sniper strategy variation, this is CT right here, CT George. He's the one that locked in 3,000 today, and he's been on a roll. So if you guys look at all his profits, these are from today, the timestamp for today. He made 1,394. This is yesterday on March 30. He made 3,135. And this is him applying the strategy on his own. So as you guys can see here, I have the indicators on my chart, right? If you look at CT's chart, he has the K2 indicators as well. So he's applying the strategies on his own right here, and he's locking in profits. So yesterday he made 3,135. The day before that, on March 30th, he made 1,150. The day before that, on the 29th, he made 756. And you guys can see it's all about consistency, right? And then on the 29th, this is where he made a huge profit on Monday. He made 7,919. So as you guys can see here, there's a lot of potential if you guys learn the strategy. So you guys can see his charts here. He has all of the K2 indicators. So with that said, you know, you guys, there's a lot of potential here if you guys want to make profit trading with us. And, you know, it's the same that everyone else has been doing as well. So congrats to UCT as well. Nice work, dude. I like seeing everyone's profits. It's good to see, even though we're not taking trades, it's good to see other K2 members still killing it, you know, trading the strategies on their own. So other than that, let me scroll up a little bit further and see if I missed anything over here. All right. But yeah, Steven, it's possible. I mean, it's possible to double your account. It's just, it's difficult unless you take really big risks. All right, I'm just skipping through these questions. It looks like there's a lot here. Ed said, Shawn, quick question. How do you know when to avoid a trade like today and yesterday? I always get screwed by some entries. Yeah, so I didn't really trade much today or yesterday. Yeah, I made a lot of profit yesterday morning, and then we had a couple losses that kind of covered those wins. So I still made a small net profit yesterday, but overall, for the most part, we're still doing pretty good overall for the year. But Ed's asking, you know, how do I know when to avoid a trade? Basically, one way that I do it is I identify how price is moving. So one way of doing it, Ed, is like I'll zoom out, I'll turn on my K2 pivots, and then if the pivots are crossing over a lot, so if I turn off the candles, see if the pivots if they move smoothly like this, I'll take sells. If they start to cross over like this, I avoid this area. So if I see the pivots crossing over like this is choppiness. I don't take trades there. So I'll take sells here. I'll take sells here. I won't take trades right here because it's too choppy. But as you can see right here, US 30 is starting to push up, right? As it's starting to push up, then I'll start to take some buys in that direction. So this is one way to do it. If you identify the pivots, how they're kind of crossing over a lot, that's one way how I know when not to trade. Another way to do it is I would turn on my K2 SR indicators, and then I would identify market structure, right? So I would just draw my structures on the chart. And then I would look to see if price is moving directional or if it's just going sideways. If it's just going sideways, then I keep far from it. I don't take any trades. However, if the price starts to smoothen out, then that's when I start to take trades. So for example, here, you can see that price over here was going sideways for a bit, right? So if I just circle this area right here, there's just a bunch of sideways movement right here, right? So I was waiting for price to break above or break below. Now that it's breaking above and it's heading in this direction, now I'll start taking trades in that direction. But this area right here, I would just skip it because it's just going sideways. You know, same situation. It's kind of hard because you have to actually know what you're looking for. So for example, right here, it's just consolidation. Not a good area to trade. Up here, it's dropping from here coming down. So yeah, I would take some sells there, and then vice versa right here. I would stop trading right here until it starts to break out. So this is how I would identify, you know, whether it's a risky trade or if I decide to take a trade or not, mostly based off on market structure for the most part. So here's another scalp right here. I don't know if anyone wants to take this trade, but like I was saying earlier, you know, price is still kind of risky, but if you're applying the same 10-minute strategy right here, this green candle right here is an actual entry. You can see the wick rejection off the pivot, off the structure. So with that said, there is a long position that's available right here, but how I've been mentioning earlier, it's a risky time to trade right now. So I don't recommend you take it. But if you do want to take it, this would have been an entry for this right here. If this ends up playing out, then we can start looking for some trades. But we're just waiting for price to, just smoothen out before we hop into anything new. So other than that, oh, nice. Jeff just said that S&P is starting to break out. So we were looking at S&P earlier. Let me pull it up for you guys real quick, actually. Yeah, it's starting to break out. It broke out of that structure right here, guys. So we were following S&P from earlier. We were waiting for it to break above, this structure right here. It finally broke above it, and there you go. Starting to shoot up. Yeah, hopefully you're making some money off that, Jeff, because I know you guys were looking at S&P for a while. I know you're using ES, using the actual feature, but it looks pretty good for the most part. Just looking at this here, there is a, I think this might have been an entry right here. Let me just check this real quick. If I zoom out and replay this right here. Yeah, so looking at this green candle right here, there's actually another entry that's available right there. So looking at that right there, this looks like, I'll just move this over to this area right here to see if it's still running. Yeah, so for this one right here, this looks like it just hit TP. So if you took this scalp right here using the same strategy, if you're using that, the 10-minute strategy that we've been applying, basically we look for a wick rejection off the pivot, wick rejection off the structure. With that said, you take the buy right there, and it would have hit full TP right now. So whoever took that trade, I'm not sure if anyone took it, but if you did, looks like it, yeah, it looks like it would have played out at that point. Let me check the daily entry as well. So we got the daily entry right here. All right, cool. All right, so going back to this right here, there's S&P for you guys who are taking it or looking for it. But I'm going to go back to the chat real quick and see what else I missed. Yeah, there's a lot of messages here in the chat today. Usually it's not this busy, but it's all right. I'm here to answer your guys' questions and make sure that you guys get everything answered. Peter said, Ed, are you paying for everyone's lunch today? All right. Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, Ed, that's pretty much how I look for, like how I look at market structure to determine, whether it's a good time to trade or not. But market has been really choppy this week. It's mostly because of NFP and a lot of the news events that have been popping up. Ed said needs to pay some bills, bro. Yeah. Hey Ed, are you still playing? Are you on the PS5? I'm getting my PS5 this week. So if you guys want to hop on Call of Duty, go hop on that. I haven't played in like years, but I'm getting my PS5, I think, on the April 2nd, probably on Friday. Donatello's asking, is there an API setup for connecting TradingView to FTMO? Not that I know of, Donatello. And with me, like with us trading big accounts on FTMO, I wouldn't really risk it because I'd rather just do direct through an MT4. But I don't think there probably is an API, just not one that I'm familiar with. Oh, Dave said FTMO MT4 platform is just as basic as you can get. No features. Yeah, for me, I just hit it. Like all I do is I buy and enter trades. Like I buy and sell off my MT4. Dave, I don't necessarily, I don't use it for anything really. Like I literally just hit, like if I'm trying to take a trade here for US 30, I'll just hit buy or I'll hit sell. That's it. I don't necessarily use any functions. I don't use any of the charts, any of that stuff. Because it's just, it's too basic and they don't have much stuff on there anyways. So that's why I don't really mess with it. Let me scroll over real quick. Yeah, Donatello also mentioned that the spreads are wider during Asia session, which they are, because there's less volatility. So that's why they move a lot slower than they, than they normally would during like Asia session or something like that. I mean, during US session and London session. So if you guys took Josh's entry right here off this most recent signal, looks like it hit TP already. So as you guys can see, like if you guys use any of the strategies, there's generally profits that are available, depending on what you're trading and what time frame. But generally there's a lot of stuff there. Nice. Ed just sent over his setup right here. You want me to show me your setup, Ed? Yeah, Ed has a pretty solid setup right now. This is his computer area. Damn, you got a lot. You got like 4 screens, bro. Yeah, so this is Ed's trade setup right here. You got some special keyboards now. What are those keyboards for? I'm assuming it's like coding or something like that. But yeah, that's a cool setup you got there, Ed. Definitely. Yeah, and if you guys are here in the premium, you guys can see that other people are taking trades. Like John over here, he's marked up all these scalps right here. So you guys can see that everyone here has the indicators. So they hop in and they take their own, they take their own trades. So like, for example, here, John took these trades here. He has the indicators that I'm looking at right here, and he's able to identify the trades on his own. So if you guys want access to it, like I mentioned, it's available. If not, it's cool too. You're not forced to get anything here. You guys can still learn from me regardless. So other than that, let me go back to the chat over here, and then we'll see what else we got above here real quick. Oh yeah. So Ed said that I didn't buy the PS5, Shawn, but I bought a PC. Decided I could hook up 4 or 5 monitors. 2.8K is quite expensive. It's an investment. Yeah, no, exactly. I just got one because I don't know if Tommy's on here. Tommy, one of my homies, he got me the PS5. So we're going to we're gonna go play probably this week or next week. Des is asking, how do we get access to it? Are you talking about the K2 indicators, Des? So if you want access to the K2 indicators, just go on the website, k2trades.com, click on K2 strategy course right here. And then this is how you'll hop into that. Access for the K2 indicators, just like everyone else here is applying themselves. Because if you guys are here in the premium group, which I know you are here, Des, I know I've seen you before. If you guys are here, you guys can see that people share their trades like all throughout the day. It's not just me at night. Like Zephyr over here, he took these trades here and he hit he hits TP, stop loss. He marks everything up. So as you guys can see here, there's people here that are sharing their charts and they're showing you the trades that they're taking. Like Trell over here, this dude had like 3 back-to-back wins last night. He was trading London session. So he took 3 trades here for London session, all full TP. And if you guys learn everything, you guys can just share ideas amongst each other and, lock in profits that way. So if you guys want to learn, it's available to you guys. So other than that, Ed said, what a lad. Let's get you a solid coffee table. Yeah, and I got to hit you up, bro, because you work at Wayfair. So Ed's our Wayfair hookup over here. He has I need to get a entertainment desk, bro, for my TV, because my dogs are probably going to chew on my PS5 once I get it. Kendra, I'll send you my gamer tag once I get it. I got to set it up. I don't have one yet. All right, let me scroll back up, see what other questions we got. We have a ton of questions, so I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. If I missed any questions that you guys had, just put them back in the chat and I'll answer them for you. But I don't really see anything else here that I missed on. So let me scroll down real quick. Sharul is asking, how do you identify whether you should sell or buy, since a scalping strategy doesn't have any momentum indicator? Sorry if this is a noobish question. No, that's a valid question, Sharul. So basically, if you want to apply the K2 snipe strategy right here, let me go back to the US 30. So in order for you to take entries off the strategy, Sharul, you have to look for entries like where the rejection happens, right? So for example here, let me just go over here. For example here, the rejection is coming from the top, right? You see the wick rejection is coming from the top of the candle. So it rejects off the pivot up here and the structure up here. So in this situation, if you see the rejection from the top, that's where you take a sell. Vice versa. If you see a rejection from the bottom, that's where you take a buy. So let me see if I could find a buy over here real quick. Okay, so for example, right here, this green candle right here, if you see the rejection from the bottom, then that's when you know to take a buy instead of a sell. So right here, you take this position for a buy. And that'd be full TP right there, right? So if you see the rejection from the wick on the bottom, that's going to be a buy. If you see the rejection from the wick from the top, that'd be a sell. So that's how you would know whether it's a sell or a buy, with regard to your entries. So other than that, let me scroll down real quick, see if I missed anything else. All right, scroll down a little more. Roosevelt said, first trade opportunity that comes around, I'm risking my children in a way. Man, Roosevelt. Yeah, no, 100%, bro. Like, okay, so right here we have a buy that's running, right? So this looks pretty solid for the most part. I think what I'd be looking for now is for price to come back down. So I want it to come back down. So it comes up, comes back down. We get a rejection off a pivot structure on this area. Then I'm for sure going to take some buys, and I'll ride that up. Let's check out market sentiment too to see where people are trading. Let's see. So retail traders are 64% short. So it's kind of around middle ground, but I would still be biased for some buys if that, if that becomes the case. But yeah, I mean, if you guys want to take this trade here, I mean, you guys can. It's currently in profit now. It's like right at entry point, but this would have been the entry. Looks like it's going to break out into a bullish move, but I'm personally just waiting for it to come back down. I want it to come back down, and then I'm going to enter it for a better price point because it's already in profit. So it's a little too late for me to enter it, even if I wanted to. So other than that, let me scroll down a little further. Yeah, like so some of the things that Ed just mentioned right now. So Ed's covering a lot of different things that that he's had issues with the trading. It has to do with a lot of revenge trading, over leveraging, over trading. Those are the main things that you guys should look out for when you guys are worrying about trades. Also FOMO, like what Ed said. Like for example, right here, this would be a FOMO trade. If you enter for a buy here, you're already too late. It's already in profit. 100 pips already. So for this situation, if you were to enter this late, that'd probably be a bad decision for you to take because you're just FOMOing in. So like here, I'll just put a list here. Main issues with traders. First is going to be over leveraging. 2, over trading. 3, revenge trading. And 4, FOMO trading. So these are the main things that you guys should be aware of when you guys are trading. Over leveraging, don't use too much, don't use too big of a lot size that you can't handle. Next is over trading. Don't take too many trades. Look for, quality trades. Third, revenge trading. Like if you lose a trade, don't hop back in because you think it's going to keep going. Generally, you'll probably lose both of those trades and you're going to end up with a big loss. And then lastly, FOMO trading. If a trade's already in profit and you missed the entry point, we never recommend entering late. Just, hop in when it comes back to the entry or hop in when the next entry appears itself. So those are the main issues that I would cover, with trading and stuff like that a lot of people run into a lot of the times. All right, let me scroll up a little bit again and see that just want to make sure I'm not missing anything over here. All right, cool. Yeah, it looks like you guys cover everything right here. Sam said, would you take the current snipe entry on US 30? So Sam, this is the current one that you're talking about, right? For this one right here, I mean, I wouldn't take it because I'm not convinced yet that price is going to move up, but it does look like it's now playing out, right? Looks like now it's going to swing up because we can see that the pivots are starting to spread out and they're angling. So it looks like US 30 is about to push up from this point. But I'm still not convinced that the price is moving smoothly yet. So I personally wouldn't take it. If you guys want to take it, you guys can. But like I mentioned, it's an at-your risk trade because we just don't know where price is going to be going from here. It can keep going up or it can come back down at any point. So I'll be looking for this to pull up, retrace back down. And then once I get another entry like somewhere over here, then I'll hop into that buy with you guys. But until then, good luck to whoever's in this position right here. I mean, it can play out, don't get me wrong, but it's too risky for me to want to take it. So I'm not going to take it myself. Let's see. Let me scroll down real quick. Neptune wants me to take a look at Euro USD. So let me pull up Euro USD for you guys real quick. So if you guys have any questions, this is probably the best time for you guys to ask me because I'm not entering any trades right now because of the market conditions. I will be looking for some Forex trades in the next 30 minutes. And then after that, I'll be calling it a day. Sometimes, guys, if the market's crazy, sometimes it's best to just avoid trading, right? You don't have to trade every single day, every single minute. You know, that's how you guys end up over trading. So unless you guys see some really good entries, I would just sit out, especially because this week is NFP. So there's a lot of uncertainty in the market and a lot of risk that you guys will be taking if you guys decide to take trades during this week, as price, tends to whipsaw around a lot. So looking at this here, I'm just going to finish drawing these zones. And once I'm done drawing these zones, I will provide some scenarios for you. So this question's for Neptune. All right, Neptune, let me draw this for you real quick, Luke. Let's see, we got this right here. I don't really like when these like overlap like this because they're kind of hard to see, but it's all good. There. All right, so I'm gonna go grab the lower zones over here real quick. All right, so with that said, I have all these zones drawn up right here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off this indicator. And looking at this point here, you can see when market structure was created, right? So market structure for Euro USD is currently right here. Price broke structure down here. And then from that point, it's now moving sideways. So from here, this is all that's important. We don't care about what's happening here because this was previous market structure. You can see obviously right here, price broke into the structure. It went sideways for a bit, then it came bearish. And this is basically what we're focused on. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the momentum indicator to identify momentum. So looking at Euro USD right here, we have a bullish signal right here. So we're looking for a bullish bias. So if I turn this off right here, that's where we'll start with our bias. So we have a buy signal there. That's why we're looking for a buy. We have a rejection from this point. And what could happen from this point are there's a couple different things that can happen. Price can either continue pushing up right here. So where price currently is, so it's rejecting off this point right here, right? Price came down, tested the daily support, then now it's bouncing off. From this point right here, price can either push up to here and test its structure, or it can push up, slightly and then come back down. There's a whole bunch of different scenarios that you can play out with Euro USD right now, Neptune, because for example, here, if you're looking at it from a price action perspective, price is currently rejecting off this structure. But what could happen is it can just establish a lower high. So for example, here it established a high right here. So let's see, here's a low, high, lower low. And then now it's probably going to, it can either bounce off here or it can push up higher and then bounce off any of these areas right here to establish a lower low. I mean, a lower high, right? So there's a lot of different things that can play out right here. Like this can happen. This is one scenario if we're looking for a sell. Vice versa, price can easily just break above and continue pushing up higher, right? So there's two different scenarios that can play out. But the main thing that I'd be looking for is whether price ends up, breaking this high right here. If price ends up breaking this high right here, then it's probably going to keep pushing up. That's going to be one of the key zones to look out for. But just where price currently is right now, this spike up happened due to the news this morning. So with that said, if you want to look at the EXY over here, we can pull up the EXY, which is the Euro index. So we'll put up the EXY right over here, and we'll pull up the DXY over here. So with that said, the EXY is still pushing down, and the DXY is still, they're both like super iffy right now, right? Because overall, the Euro index is bearish. Overall, the dollar index is bullish, right? So this can either push down and continue back up, like it can correct back up, and this can continue pushing down, or vice versa. If this ends up reversing, going up, while this goes down, then the opposite could happen. So depending on how strong each currency is, that will dictate the strength and direction of price for Euro USD. Obviously right here, we have a bullish bias because the most recent signal was a buy signal. However, it's an invalid buy signal. And if this ends up providing a sell signal at some point down here, then like if price ends up coming down here and providing a sell signal, then this is probably going to keep dropping even further, right? So those are the two different scenarios that can play out. But like I was mentioning before, it's just really it's just going to be really on a case-by-case basis, depending whether it continues to push up or whether it comes back down from this point. So there's two different scenarios that I mentioned earlier. Who's asked for this? Neptune. So Neptune, there's two different scenarios that can play out from here. Either it rejects off this point or it swings up and then continues going up from that point there. But what I would look out for is I would look out for this price point right here. This would be a key price point right here, because if price crosses this price point right here and closes, then it's probably going to keep pushing up. Vice versa, if price ends up swinging below here and then it just ends up closing down here, then this would be considered, you know, a sell bias on our end. So it just really depends on where price goes. I wouldn't necessarily enter right now because it's just too risky. You know, there's too many areas where you'll be looking out for. And I would just be waiting for it to actually confirm before you actually take the trade. So that's pretty much my bias for Euro USD. I personally think it's going to come down. That's what I think is going to happen. And the reason for that is because we have trades for USD right now running. And in order for our trades to hit, we need the US dollar to be in strength. So I have a personal bias right now. And also just looking at Euro USD right here, it's, you know, it's in a downtrend, right? Obviously it's in a downtrend. So a lot of things are pointing towards the downside, but we won't really know until it happens. So that's pretty much my take on Euro USD right now. Let me scroll up real quick and see what else we're missing over here. Let's see. All right, cool. So that's your USD for you, Neptune. Let me scroll down real quick. Nice. Yeah, Cheryl said nice. Thanks, Shawn. Finally got it. Yeah, definitely. Glad I could help, bro. Kendra said, hey, Ed, I need a kitchen table. Can you hook it up? Yeah, Ed's the Wayfair hookup over here. Bilal said, how many ticks is the TP stop loss of your strategy on the 10-minute time frame US 30? Oh, so Bilal, if you're applying it on the 10-minute, the TP stop loss is 500 pips, which is going to be 50 ticks. So if you click on this right here, or not that one, if you click on this one right here, it's going to be 50 ticks. So 50 points, which is equivalent to 500 pips. So 50 ticks if you're going by the, you know, the tick number. Monster FX is asking about the Dow 30. So looking at the Dow 30 here, Monster FX, it's still the same thing. The most recent entry that was available is going to be this one right here that's currently running. But like I mentioned earlier, it's still too risky. It's not something that I would personally take. Reason for that is because price is just going sideways, right? It's just having some sideways movement right here. It finally broke above, but we don't have confirmation that it's going to continue pushing up, right? This can easily come back down. So I'm looking for a second entry point. Like we have the original entry point right here, but I'm looking for a second one where it's going to confirm that it's going to be a bullish move. So I'm waiting for it to come back down, reject off the pivoted structure down here, or at some point around here, just waiting for it to reject off the pivoted structure on this area. And then from that point, I'm gonna catch a buy and then I'm gonna ride it back upwards. So whoever wants to be in this trade, I mean, you guys can enter it, but like I mentioned, it's a risky trade. So I'm not really looking to enter it because I don't like taking risky trades. I like taking trades that I'm like very confident about and that I know are for sure going to hit. So just, you know, me being safe, I'm not going to enter this, but it does look like it's going to push up. Also looking at the S&P, you know, it lines up really nice with the S&P is super bullish right now. This, if you took the strategy here off S&P, you would have hit full TP already. So if this keeps pushing up and the DAX keeps pushing up, you know, US 30, it's probably going to keep pushing up, right? Like I'm tempted to enter this trade right now. I might just enter it with you guys. But we'll, I mean, we'll see. I'm going to keep watching it and then see what happens from here. But until we get a confirmation that it's going to push up, then I'll probably hop into the trade. But until then, I'm just going to sit tight. I'm not going to force any trades. because the last thing I want to do is enter a trade and then it ends up going down on me, right? Like look at the DAX here, it's starting to come down. The reason why I'm looking at the S&P and the DAX is because they mirror US 30. So if these are going one direction, then US 30 should generally go in that direction as well. So if you guys want to take this trade, go ahead. But like I was mentioning earlier, it's a risky trade for you guys to take right now. All right, let me scroll up real quick and see what else did I miss here. Yeah, definitely. No problem, Sam. Let me see. The other question here is from... Sorry, let me see if I missed anything here. Okay, so Charlotte said, so basically when the pivots are overlapping one another, then that's something to avoid. So it's fine if the pivots are overlapping the green and yellow. So if level 1 and 2 are overlapping, that's fine because they overlap a lot. But if they start to overlap the red and orange, which is level 3 and level 4, that's where it becomes risky because price becomes indecisive. You can see price swings up, then swings down, then it goes into a range before breaking back downwards. Same situation right here. This whole area right here, there's just too many pivots that are overlapping, right? Because they're overlapping with the red, orange, green, and yellow, then it becomes risky. Same situation with this one over here. Sorry, that's my dog trying to open my door. I don't know if you guys can hear him. That dude's jumping on the door. But yeah, going back to my response here for you, Charvel. Basically, if price is choppy like it is right here, I wouldn't take the trades here. I want to take trades when price is going smooth, like down here. These are nice sells, right? And if you took this sell right here, you guys can see right here, full TP, right? Same situation over here. It's starting to smoothen out, so it might be a decent buy, but like I mentioned, it was so choppy right here that it still needs to smoothen out before you decide to take something in that direction. So that's one way to look at it if you're looking at it from a basic perspective. Other than that, I think that's it for now. Let's see. Steven said, I've been in a buy on US 30 since 33.075. I know you don't trade patterns, but double bottom on the 5 minute. Gotcha. All right. So on the 5 minute over here, it looks like, let me see this. Yeah. So this is where Steven caught it. He caught it from down here. Double bottom. So I would have taken this trade too right here, Steven. If I was on the 5 minute, I would identify that double bottom. And then I would see the buy signal right here. So we definitely have a bullish bias. So if I saw that trade right there, I probably would have entered like right here or somewhere around this area where it broke structure. So maybe you're over here, and I'd be in some slight profit at this time right here. But yeah, no, definitely looks like you bought like way down here, right? So you bought at, let's see, you said 33.075. Yeah, so you've been doing pretty good over here. So if you're doing this right there, it looks like you made some pretty nice profit already, Steven. So yeah, nice work, bro. You're doing pretty good. But yeah, if you guys have any other if you guys have anything else that you guys want to send me, I can answer anything for you. Let's see, Cheryl just sent her profits for today. So Cheryl said, got some last night. Hope everyone had a great day. So as you guys know, Cheryl, her name is Making It with K2 in the premium groups. She made about 1,590 today. She traded the DAX 30, UK 100, and that's pretty much it. Just those two assets for her last night, and she did pretty good. And then CT posted this picture right here. So CT sent me a couple charts. Let's see what he's looking at right now. He said dollar may bounce here, so he's looking at the DXY. Yeah, no, definitely. It'll probably bounce at that point. And then he's also looking at this over here for US 30. So CT is looking exactly at what I'm looking for. He's looking at this for here to bounce. So that's what I'm looking for here as well. I'm waiting for this to come down, bounce off, and then I'll take the buy from there and I'll catch it as it rides up, right? I'm not hopping into this just yet because it's just too choppy right now. But obviously you can see right here, CT, he's looking for that same area that I'm looking for. So we're both waiting for this to come down. Once it comes down, then I'll take the buy, and then hopefully we can catch that before this session ends for the most part. Let's see. Josh said 2 for 2, 3 minute trades, both buys. Nice. Yeah. So Josh over here took these 3-minute entries over here. He took this one over here, and then he took this one over here as well. So yeah, this one over here just hit full TP. So if you guys are applying Josh's strategy right here, he just messaged me, he said 2 for 2. So he took this buy right here. And then he also took this buy right here, which both hit full TP. So if you guys are using Josh's strategy, nice profit off that, guys. I didn't take it, but I probably should have. If we don't find anything on the 10-minute, then I'll probably just move down to the 3, and we'll probably play with that there. But other than that, there just really isn't much for us to look at right now. Market's just all over the place. It's not yeah, Josh is actually not on the live right now. He just asked, did Shawn talk about 3-minute on live? I'm not on live. Yeah, Josh, we covered it on here. So some people did. Here, I'm gonna send him the chart real quick. Josh said, hate that I'm back at work. Yeah, so a lot of people, a lot of you guys are back at work, so you guys aren't able to hop on these live sessions. But if you guys are here in the live sessions, there's a lot of stuff that you guys can pull from each session that we have, because I do trade live every morning. But yeah, I mean, other than that, let me see if there's anything else for us to look at here. Yeah, I'll go back to US 30 real quick. See, this is why I wouldn't want to take this trade here, because I'm just waiting for it to bounce off, like I mentioned, exactly what CT is looking for too, to hop into that buy. But other than that, let me see if there's anything else real quick before I start. So Roosevelt said, what's the difference between Forex and Forex ECN? ECN is just a different type of broker. They're pretty much the same thing. ECN is just, I forgot what it's called. It's called execution something. Here, let me just look it up for you real quick. I don't know the exact name for the acronym. Yeah. So if you just Google it, ECN, an ECN broker stands for Electronic Communication Network, type of broker that provides its traders with direct access to other market participants. So basically, if it's ECN, quick explanation to ECN is that instead of your broker being a middleman, they're connecting you with other brokers. So if someone's selling for a price, they'll connect you with him and you trade directly. If you're doing with the trading desk, that's usually a market maker. So if you guys enter trades with your broker and they're not ECN, then they take your trade, they put it into their own pool, and then they pretty much just buy your trade from you. So they'll just swap out, like they'll be the middleman between you and liquidity. If you're doing ECN, you're trading directly with other traders. And if you have like a direct market access account, you're trading directly with liquidity. So for Forex.com, I have a DMA account, so I trade directly with liquidity. And most other brokers have ECN, where they match you with other traders who have opposite orders that are pending. So that's the main difference between that, Roosevelt. And then you also asked indices spot versus spot indices. That's the same thing. They're just swapped around. So like indices spot and spot indices are pretty much the same thing. It's just some brokers call them indices spot, some brokers call them spot indices. But that just means that you're trading indices directional. So for example, if you're trading spot, like if you're trading spot Forex, you're like spot Forex right here, right? If you're trading spot Forex, you're basically trading directional. So you can take sells or you can take buys. Same with indices right here. If you're trading an indice and you're looking for buys or sells, you can trade, if you're trading spot, you can trade buys or sells. The difference between spot and spread is if you're trading spread, then you'll have price between like two areas, like right here. And then you can only make profit within this area here. So like what people generally do is if you trade spread, they wait for price to come down to the lower end of the spread, and then they catch a buy from here, because then it minimizes their risk. So for example, if they enter a buy here, it's like an option contract where they can't lose money more than down here, but they have all the upside, right? Because they can shoot up to here, but they can only lose up to here. So if you're trading spreads, that would be spread trading. But if you're doing spot trading just means that you don't have this spread locked in right here. And then you can literally trade directional as far down as you want or directional up as far as you want as well. One other difference is options trading. So there's there's like 3 different trades that you can do. There's like spot trading, options trading, and spread trading. When you're doing options trading, they'll have like a strike price somewhere, like somewhere over here. And if you think it's going to go up, you'll buy that option contract. And if price closes above this area at that specific time, then you make money off that trade. Vice versa, if price closes below that price point, then you lose money. So that's the 3 different types of different trade, or I don't know, whatever kind of different trade types. So first you'll have spot trading, which is directional trading. Second, you'll have spread trading. So it's within a range. And then lastly, you have options trading. So CFD, I guess. CFD contract price. So, I mean, there's other ways to trade too, but these are like the main ones. Spot trading is directional. You can buy and sell, you know, whichever way you want to trade. And then pretty much the spread trading over here, that'd be within a range. And then options trading would be, you know, obviously if you have like a strike price or something like that. And those are pretty much the different trade types for most brokers that they carry. But, you know, it just depends on what you're applying. Roosevelt. Yeah, I know, it's funny. I don't think you realize that the words were just bounced back. They're switched front and back. Let's see. Jetta's asking, it's basically a resub, but I didn't get an intro email. Oh, gotcha, Jetta. Yeah, no, definitely. Let me you know, message me on Telegram, Jetta, and I can help you out with that, because I think you might have yeah, because if you're just rejoining, then I think we might have to give you some brand new links. So yeah, Jetta, message me on Telegram and I'll get you the links. Well, I'll be off live in a little bit. I only have a couple more minutes left, so I'll be on live for like about 30 more minutes, and then I'll hook you up with that in a little bit, Jetta. But let me see. Oh yeah, just message me on Telegram. That'd be better, and I'll respond to you on there. I'll give you your fresh links, and then I'll also update the system to make sure that you have access to the K2 indicators again. But yeah, I think that's usually that's probably what happened. It's just expired links from your old account. But yeah, guys, so I think that's it for the questions right now. I'm just going to go through the Forex pairs real quick. I'll see if there's anything for us to necessarily look at. Here's a bounce right here. Let me see if this falls under CT strategy. No, it doesn't. So like I mentioned right here, guys, this is exactly what I was looking for. I was waiting for it to bounce off, but I needed to bounce off the structure as well, not just the pivot. So let me see if I could find a structure around that area. Yeah, I don't see anything right now, but if I do see something, I will hop into this trade. So yeah, let me go over to the Forex pairs real quick. I'm just going to see if there's any Forex pairs for you guys to take, and I'll call some trades for you guys if I see anything. But if I don't see anything, then we'll probably hold off. The reason why it might be risky for us to enter some trades right now is because of the news earlier this morning. With that news, you know, obviously it pushed price in a certain direction. So the problem with that is that if we enter a trade at some point right now, price can either be swinging back one direction or it can be going in the other. So I'll be looking at this right quick. Let me see. This right here, Euro CAD, Euro CHF, Euro GBP, EJ. GA right here would be a position. So I'm just going to check to see if there's any zones above. Turn this off. Oh no, okay. So actually I take that back, guys. Sorry, there's no entry there for GA because it's literally at resistance. Yeah, so there's no entry right there for GA. Unfortunately, it's literally right at resistance. So this can do one of two things. It can bounce up or it can shoot down from here. So it's not something that I would want to mess with. Anything for GCAD, nothing there. GBP CHF. There's an entry that was available here off the 6 hour or this off the 4 hour candle off the previous, but yeah, it's just too risky of a trade right here. It's too late already. It looked like it went into drawdown slightly, so it swung down about swung down like 20 pips, and then it swung back up in profit. Now 6 pips in profit. But that's one that I have marked up here because I was going to call that earlier. I ended up not taking it. How's it going, Smokes? Morning, bro. Here's GJ. There was a buy entry that was available right here as well, which I didn't take. And I might hop into this scalp here for Josh's entry. So I'll come back to this in a second. We got about 2 minutes left on this candle. I'm going to go and check real quick to see if there's any other Forex pairs here that we can possibly take. See, here's GN. I was going to call this. Good thing I didn't because it spiked up super heavy right there. Geo right here, this didn't end up playing. Well, I mean, it did drop a bit, but then it ended up reversing from here due to that news this morning. So we'll keep looking for that. Let's see if there's anything else here. I feel like we have other trades running right now. Okay, so we have that running right now. NZCAD. Doesn't look like there's any Forex trades that are available, which is kind of unusual because it is NFP. Usually there's a lot of volatility, but this is one of those NFP days where the market just isn't moving at all. So I don't really see anything here right now. Our USD CHF is still in some heavy drawdown, but I'm hoping it swings back up from that point. A lot of these spikes happen because of the news. So I'm hoping that stuff corrects back to where it was earlier. Jetta, my Telegram ID is K2 _trades. So if you guys want to, or if you want to message me on there, it's just K2 _trades. Let me see if I can message it to you. Let's see. Jetta. There you go. All right, but yeah, guys, so just looking at these Forex pairs, there's just nothing for us to take right here. This is one trade that I was going to call earlier. The reason I didn't call it was because of the news this morning, and it's slightly in profit, but that's all that I see right now currently. Everything else is just not looking so hot. Like NZD USD, thankfully this thing came right back down because it swung up. See this big candle right here? This big wick. There's like literally no body because this is a manipulated move. This happened because of the news. So what I see happening here for your NZD USD, I think it's going to correct back down to where it was supposed to go. And then, you know, the same with USD CHF as well. But other than that, there's just no Forex trades that are available right now. It's like, it seems like after the news, it kind of shook up the market a bit and then it just died down. So there's not really much for us to look at that point. Going back to Josh's strategy right here, I don't see an entry available yet. This candle closes in about 20 seconds. So we'll see if it closes bullish or not. If it does, I might hop in for, you know, just a little buy just to hop into it with you guys. But I don't see it closing. We got about 15 seconds left on this candle over here. Doesn't look like there's going to be a signal. We got 7 seconds left, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 2, 3, 1. Yeah, no entry there. Might close on this one, but still no entry at that point. So, all right, guys. So I think that's it for the questions right now. Let me see if there's any other questions for me to look at real quick. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. So unfortunately, today was a slow trading day, guys. I didn't trade anything myself. I actually just sat on my hands all day. You know, the main key was that other people here profited, right? Even though I didn't profit, you guys can see here. Here's a timestamp from today. It says today. Cheryl over here made 1,590. So if you guys learn the strategy and you guys like taking risk, you guys can trade the trades on your own. For me, I don't like taking unnecessary risk. I only trade when I know trades are for sure going to hit. And I didn't have that confidence today because price is just bouncing back and forth, right? It's just a back and forth movement literally all day today. As you can see, price broke into this range and it didn't really move much after. Like this initial candle right here was like a 1,000 pip move. But as soon as it came back down, it just ranged like 500 pips, which is not really worth the risk because, you know, it didn't even go anywhere. So just looking at everyone's profits here, other people profited and they traded while I was on this live session. Even though I didn't take the trades, people here still locked in a ton of profit. Cheryl locked in 1,590. CT over here locked in 1,394. Ed over here locked in 13,000 for the day. Like, guys, you guys can see here, people here are still killing it, even though I'm not calling trades. If you guys want to kill it and learn this strategy on your own, you guys can. Mark over here locked in 2,000. Billy over here locked in 1,105. Spencer over here locked in 2,284. As you guys can see here, here's a timestamp today still. Ed locked in 7,000 off that trade. Spencer locked in 1,107 on this account. Monster over here, he locked in about like 50 or 60 euros right here. So as you can see, big account, small account, it doesn't matter. Whoever's in K2, you guys are still profiting using the same strategies that we're covering here. It's just, you know, I'm a careful trader, so I don't take trades when I don't feel comfortable about them. But as you guys can see, there's entries here. So I might take this one. So this might be the last one I take with you guys before I log off. So this candle closes in about 40 seconds. This is going to be using Josh's strategy right here, his 3-minute scalp. So if I see this close right here, I'm going to hop in with you guys. I'm just going to set and forget it. All right, so this candle closes in about 20 seconds. So I'll probably set you guys off with this one last trade before I log off for the day. I've been on this session for about, I've been on this live session for about 4 hours now. So it's about time for me to log off, take a break. I'll be back later. I have some mentoring sessions today, I think with a couple of the other people. So here we go. All right, I'm in the buy, guys. So I'm currently in the position. This is going to be Josh's scalp right here. If you guys want to enter it, I'm in this position so you guys can feel comfortable with taking this trade. If you guys want to, you guys don't have to, but if you want to, it's available to you guys. So let me check the price difference between FTMO and TradingView real quick. So TradingView is 33114 or 15 minus 33101. It's only off by like 15 pips. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to subtract this by 15. So my profit target right there is going to be 33134 minus 15. So my TP is going to be 33,119. And my stop loss is going to be 33059 minus 15. So that's going to be 33,044. So I'll send you guys off with this trade right here if you guys want to take it. I'm going to be logging off right now. I got to take a break. I've been on this live session for too long before I get burnt out for the rest of the day. So this is going to be the Josh 3-minute scalp full TP. And then I'll set an alert for the bottom as well. All right, guys. So I think that's it for today. So hopefully you guys pulled some value from this session. If you guys have any other questions, I'll be live again tomorrow. Just a reminder, I'm live every day at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time when the New York Stock Exchange opens. Hopefully the market picks up tomorrow. I think it will because we're getting closer to NFP. But I'm in this trade. So if you guys want to hop in this buy, feel free. And this would be the parameters right here for that specific trade if you guys decide to take it. Here, let me see. There's one more question from Charlotte. Charlotte was asking earlier on, you mentioned that there was a resistance above, therefore you didn't take a trade. So I assume the ideal place to trade is a place without resistance or support. Depending on what strategy you want to apply, Charlotte, that would come, that'd be of importance. But if you're trading something like US 30, those structures aren't really that important because if there's momentum in the market, price will break through those structures and it'll go to where it wants to go, right? So for example, here, I'm currently in this position right here. It's currently in profit. Let's see, I'm in profit about 600. How much am I in profit right now? 645. Yeah, nothing too crazy. I'm in profit about 700 now. So looking at this here, you guys can see I'm in profit $745 right now as we speak. About 800 now. It's about to hit TP. So it's going up to TP right there. I'm in profit about 722. And I mean, it's looking good so far for the most part. I'm just going to let it run. And then we'll see where it goes from there. So there it goes, pushing up a little higher. Oh, perfect. Okay, awesome. Yeah, no, definitely. So you got that too, John. I mean, Steven. I called you John. Yeah, Steven, you got the TP stop loss, so you're good to go. The producer said, thanks for the last buy, Shawn. Yeah, no, definitely, producer. So hopefully you guys are making some profit off this. I'm doing pretty good right now. I'm just holding on to it, let it play out. But other than that, I think that's it for now. Let's see. King Kong said, how much do I need to trade US 30 on Hugo's Way? You should have at least 1,000 to trade on Hugo's Way because they require much more capital compared to like a couple other brokers. If you have less than that, King Kong, you can use CoinEx. CoinEx, I think people use like about $500 on that account. But on Hugo's Way, you should have at least 1,000 to cover the margin, because the last thing you want to do is enter a trade and then you get margin called out because you don't have enough capital. That's the worst feeling, because price can, like, I've seen some people trade with like $300 on Hugo's Way. It'll go into like some negative, and then they'll just get kicked out of the trade. They'll get margin called out because they don't have enough capital to cover the margin requirement. So, you know, like what Roosevelt said right there, for sure you should have at least 1,000 trading US 30 on Hugo's Way. So I think that's about it for today, guys. I'm gonna log off for a bit. I need to take a little break. And then I'll probably, let me see. I think I'm gonna hop back on for Asia session later today. What's today, Wednesday? Yeah, so I have a session with Joey today. So we'll probably be trading live Asia session today. I have a session with Joey, Kyle, and Billy. We don't really, I mean, for the most part, we just hang out during that session. It's a mentoring session, but we usually just hang out and then we look at stuff and take scalps there. So if you guys want to sit in on that session, I think Kyle's going to show us a new strategy that he's been applying. It's been pretty hot. Like let me see if I could find it real quick. Let me see if I could find it real quick with Kyle. Yeah, so Kyle sent me his trade here. He basically trades off the 4-hour using the K2 pivot strategy. This dude had 4 back-to-back wins for like 100 pips each, right? Like they don't come up very often, but when they do come up, they hit. So we're probably gonna have that session later on with Kyle if you guys want to sit in on it. It's gonna be about 4 p.m. my time. So if you guys want to sit in on that, just make sure that you guys like this stream, follow the YouTube channel, and turn on notifications so that YouTube knows that you want to watch the videos. Because if you guys do that, YouTube will send you an email whenever I go live, and I go live about 3 to 5 times a day. So if you guys don't want to miss any of these trades, miss any of these sessions, you know, just make sure to let the YouTube algorithm know that you want to watch the video so that they'll continue to show you, you know, all the K2 videos. And if you guys want to go back and watch any of my previous live sessions, just go to the YouTube channel right here, click on videos, and you guys can see that I trade live every single day. So all of these with the white banner, those are all live trading sessions. With the green banner, those are mentoring sessions. So if you want to see me mentor other people one-on-one, you can watch any video there. And the blue ones are going to be the weekly chart analysis. So as you guys can see here, I have like years and years of live trading every single day because I trade live every single morning. So if you guys want to come on and see what I have on here, you guys can. And if you guys want to learn more, you know, feel free to go on the website, k2trades.com, and then you guys can learn more on there. But other than that, guys, I think that's it for now. EX asking, I'm just confused on how to know how much you just paid. Paid for what, EX? For the trade? Everyone uses different lot size. So your lot size is different, and you don't necessarily pay for a trade. It's you enter a trade and then you have active floating profits that are running. There's no, like, you don't just pay a fee and then you enter a trade. It's not like a contract because we're trading spot. So if you're trading spot, you know, you're trading off of your capital, but you're not necessarily paying, you know, a set amount to enter the trade. So, yeah, I don't know if that answers your questions yet, but yeah, there's no fee that you pay to enter the trade. I mean, the fee that you pay is like commissions, and sometimes there's no commission, but it just depends on your lot size. So your lot size is gonna reflect how much you risked or, you know, took for that specific trade. But yeah, guys. All right. So I think that's it, guys. If you guys have any other questions, you know, feel free to reach out on Telegram or through email, and then I'll catch you guys on the next session. So I'll be back in about 10 o'clock, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, in about 6 hours. So in 6 hours, I'll see you guys later. So until then, be safe and, you know, don't hop into any risky trades. So I'll keep this running and I'll give you guys an update when it hits. So other than that, I think that's